Mm.
We
No,
can
no,
sing
no.
something, Stan, if you want. We're live. Good
Okay,
evening, everybody.
next time I'll bring my harmonica.
You can put like cymbals on your elbows and knees
I
as
can't
well if
play
you
it.
want.
I can't play it, but I've got one.
I can blow on my didgeridoo.
Everybody,
I'm
yeah,
sure you
we know
can,
that.
Tony.
We
I'm
know
sure
you
you
can do
can.
that, Tony. Everyone can play a musical instrument. It's just how well you play it, right? So, welcome everybody. We pushed up this Thursday night forum to Wednesday night forum due to Thanksgiving tomorrow night. So, hope welcome or a happy Thanksgiving to all of those who are going to be partaking in some turkey 1 month earlier than most traditions in England and Ireland, I would say. How we doing, boys? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, so Stan, when was your Thanksgiving? Over a month ago now?
Yeah,
October what?
yeah. In October, we had ours. We had our turkey in
No
Canada.
fanfare. No fanfare, Stan. Just
Well, not really. Just another
quietly.
excuse. Another excuse to have turkey, which I love.
Yes. I'm excited. We're having ham and turkey. So if you're from Ireland, that's your
Oh,
traditional
ham.
ham and turkey. Remember that around
Oh yeah.
Christmas time. So I'm
Mm.
having kind of tomorrow for me will be a little bit like Christmas coming early. And I suppose a nice segue to that, Tony, is Arsenal. With Christmas come early for us Arsenal fans. We got a really, really nice win tonight against Bayern Munich, Tony.
Yep, it was a close game in the first half. That Bayern really get a second goal. It's hurt. Then they kept keeping out our shots. Then a goalkeeping error, and when game's over, we win 3-1. But it was a nice performance from the start to go. And I was talking to Ray before we started that we were finally doing the long balls, doing
Yeah,
it as tactician reasons. But it's like, why can't you do this more often? You don't, 95% of the time, you don't have to start from the back
yeah,
because you generally have a height on the team, so you're going to win by headers or whatever down the field. So,
yeah. Michael Marino doing bits up front as well. We're going long ball and explained by Thierry Henry as well. Going long to beat the man-to-man press that Bayern Munich would have put on Arsenal if we tried to play out from the back stand. So, you
You
know,
see, this is what happens, right? When we don't have any music on the podcast, we've gone straight into it. We haven't even done the good evenings or nothing. So
no,
I will. I
you're
will.
all out of whack, right? Let's get through some of the comments and we'll
Good
ease
evening,
ourselves.
everyone. Good to
Good
see you,
evening.
Ray. Great to see you again, Tony. Thanks to
yep.
everyone that's tuned in, maybe listening to us on replay, and those of
Yeah,
you that
listen.
joined us live in the chat box. And we've got Food Giggles and Footy, which is a new name I've not seen.
Yeah,
I've not
yeah.
seen
Nice one.
Food Giggles and Footy, so welcome.
Yeah,
Also, we've got a couple of usual faces. Tiger and Goon is in there, and BX is working the
BX.
door. So thanks
BX.
everyone for coming in.
I love that work in the door. BX said, yes, glad you guys are back. What a night. A good night for Arsenal. We remember it's a pre Thanksgiving podcast incoming. Morning to Tiger and Gunner all the way from Australia. Hope you're having a good morning. We're fueled by a 3-1 win to the Arsenal. We remember, Stan, the cans of whoop-ass that Bayern Munich dealt out to us in the Arsene Wenger days,
Yeah,
not too
we
long
have.
ago.
We've had some sore bottoms from Bayern Munich in the past, which have left our bum cheeks rather rosy in the past. So it was. I mean, you have to look at it this way as well. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but you know, before kickoff, Bayern Munich were considered the best team in Europe,
Mm.
and the stats behind that is that they were unbeaten in 18 games. They won 17, and they drew one. So coming into this match, they came in with quite a lot of weight behind them, and we just turned them over. We just turned them
Yeah.
over.
Happy days, brilliant, right?
And it wasn't like when we got turned over by Liverpool. They pulled out one piece of magic out of the bag right at the last minute where we couldn't respond, and it's like, okay, they got that. We turned them over during the game. Some of the goals that we scored were, and I'm sure we're going to get into it. I was at work. Kick-off here in Vancouver was lunchtime, 12 o'clock. So I had it playing on the wireless. I was listening on the wireless, the radio, and I watched the highlights when I got home. But the goals. I know we're going to get into it, but I mean, that's a statement win.
Yeah,
that's a statement win.
Yeah, it is a statement win in November.
It's not even that we won. It was the manner of it, which is the reverse of what I always say. Like, I can handle it when we lose, right? Because I understand that you're never going to win every game. There might be a loss here and there, but for me, it's always about the manner of the loss. If you just come up against a better team and you lose, then that team was better than you.
Yep. Put your hands
up. In this case, the manner of the win, I thought was, it sends out a statement to other football teams. Football teams, they know now that when they come to play Arsenal at the Emirates, it's going to be extremely difficult to leave with anything, points-wise.
Yeah, you can't have
extremely difficult.
You can't play with any mistakes for a full 90 minutes.
And not only is it difficult to come away with the points, it's extremely difficult to get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah. Think about the last two goals to underline what you're saying, Stan. Think about the last two goals we conceded. The goal we conceded tonight was a excellently choreographed team goal, and each of those passes had to be precision passes. And listen, Richarlison scoring, we didn't like it on Sunday, but you got to hold up your hand and say, great effort. And those are the kind of, we're not conceding sloppy goals. We're not sloppy at the back. And we've seen other results around Europe today showing the weakness in defense, which plagues other teams, and we don't have that. Good to see Mossy also joining us here.
Right, Moss.
Another it was definitely an interesting night.
Yes. Been a while. Another Eze win or easy win, whatever way you want to phrase it. What a manager, what a club, what a team. And the other part of that, of Moss's brilliant.
Eze was like
when you're talking about the other teams in the Champions League,
yes.
I mean, one of the scores that I noticed today was Real Madrid against Olympiacos, which finished, I think it finished 4-3, and Kylian Mbappe got 4 goals, but they still let 3 in.
Yes.
Which means that they can be got at. And the difference is it's difficult to score against Arsenal. So Kylian Mbappe is not getting 4 against Arsenal.
No.
But we know that they can let goals in. They let him 3 against it. Do you see where I'm coming from? Our defense is the bedrock of how successful we are. And Mikel Arteta has spent so long under his tenure, most of it focusing on that back area. Yes. And I know a lot of people are like, and I was there sometimes as well. You're like, a transfer market comes up, and you're like, we're linked with another left back. Fuck, another centre back. And, a lot of football fans are more into the attacking side of the game. I'm sure there's a lot of people that appreciate the defensive side, but it's midfielders, wingers, strikers.
The way I see it, Stan.
But hold on, Tony. Hold on. I ain't finished.
Go ahead.
Mikel Arteta, he's been focused on one area. He's been focused. And when he hasn't got it quite right, he's changed it again to get it right. I mean, look at the goalkeeper auditions that we've had to try and be the goalkeeper. Now we've got one that could be getting the Golden Glove for 3rd year in a row. It's never been done. Again, another record. It's never been done 3 years in a row. David Raya, is on course for that. And the bedrock of all of this, and I think we need to kind of give Mikel Arteta his flowers a little bit of it might have been frustrating at the time, but the defense that he has now built, you can't fault it, right? And the other thing about our defense as well, it's like if you look at the first starting back and you look at it with Timber at the right back, Saliba, Gabriel, and then on the left, Calafiori, which seems to be, if everybody's fit, that Mikel Arteta favours. All of those originally are centre backs. They're not right backs. Do you know what I mean? But the way that he's got them playing is, if you go back to the days of, say, like, for example, the George Graham era, your fullbacks, they'd be lucky if they got maybe 3 goals in a season. That wasn't expected from them. Yeah, there might be some assists, passing it up to the winger, and the winger cuts in and gets a goal. But, even if your fullbacks didn't get any goals in the season, you wouldn't be bothered too much about it. But the goals that we're able to add to this team, I mean, you saw it today with Timber with the first goal. Calafiori has scored some goals.
Yeah.
Not to mention the centre backs and Gabriel, but I mean, our fullbacks, the way that he's got this team playing, I mean, he's definitely improved the players individually. Timber wasn't getting up into those scoring positions before when he was playing in his previous club. I'm pretty sure Calafiori wasn't either, but the way that he's got them playing, it's tremendous. Our defence is the bedrock, and I think it's going to be one of the main reasons if you win anything, because it also the defence that we have, it gives the midfielders and the creative players, it gives them more confidence because they know that they can do things, and if it doesn't quite work out, the guys behind them are going to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be right there and on it, and to mop up and to keep it right. It gives you confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry,
Tony,
I went on a little thing there.
But
I think, the defence for me has just what Mikel Arteta has done with our defence. It's second to none.
Yeah, I mean, it hits you at times. It hits you at times to where you have to say that, and you do have to have that monologue and just take a moment to think about it. Tony, can you? You still have your thought? What was there, Tony?
Yeah, I see him with his perfect Lego hair, just throwing wallpaper on the wall, rolling it out, and he's like, nope, don't like that one. And he puts another deal on there. It's just we went through so many.
Goalkeepers, as Stan said, defenders, fullbacks, or
just so many center backs and
became center backs. And you know what? We got this past summer. We were worried about Gabriel and Saliba wearing down and getting injuries. Well, we went out and got Mosquera, and we got Hincapié, 2 players now that could step in. And as Stan was going through our first choice back 5, let's say, we could say Kepa could start, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Hincapié, Mosquera,
he had a bad game.
Benjamin White.
Skelly had a very poor game.
He did have a very poor game. Do you attribute that to just being a little bit rusty?
I'd put that all on Arteta. I mean, the kid started 30-odd games last year and can't get a minute this year.
Well, yeah, this is what you have to do. You have to be able to play your first choice players, but then give some minutes to the players that you're going to need them. You're going to need those players. I'm even thinking about a player like Christian Norgard, who's probably played 1 or 2 games for us so far.
Yeah.
We need to give him some minutes. What if something happens to Declan Rice or something happens to Zubimendi? You need players that are going to be ready and have the minutes. I know if Gary was here, he'd be sounding that bell also. Moss goes on to say Stuyvenberg, he's giving flowers out to everybody, and rightly so. The Cronkies, Arteta, Jover, Heinze, Berta, keep up the good work. There's a lot of, we talked about this over the years, the organizational setup of the club. If you have a good structure, in the offices upstairs. Then you have good decisions being made for the players going onto the field that the manager, Mikel Arteta, can use them to the right. And we're seeing in other areas in the Premier League the mistakes that are being made at board level. Um, maybe not the best players in the world are make the best team in the world as well. Welcome to the show, Rosie. Rosie's in the house somewhere. Hooray, the A team is back. Thank you, Tiger and Gunnar, for joining us as well. Such a great match day. We got 11 people in the house. Forget. So Sunday was the soft return, and now we're back on the Wednesday for the Thursday night forum. Such a great match day. Spuds lose 5-1. Slotty slapped by PSV at Anfield. Inter Milan lose. Wow, so good. Tony?
I was thinking of this time last year, we were wondering where Declan Rice's future would be if it was a 6 or an 8. Because he started off the Premier League very poorly. Champions League, he did pretty good throughout the whole thing, but the league, he started off very bad.
Yeah.
And now with Gabriel gone, he's the de facto captain out there telling people what to do. And you could hear him on the post-match, his interview with Terry and Mike. And
he's
definitely solidified himself as a person that needs to be going forward and could
so in
the box.
With Declan Rice, Tony, and Stan, in the interview today, he said he feels like he's playing his best football right now. Feels like he's the fittest he's ever been, and he feels so confident going onto the field. So
he is. I mean, you got to think that when he came in from West Ham, he was more of a deep line player.
Yes.
Well, I think he'd originally played a lot in defence as well, and then moved into the deep role, which is where a lot of people thought that he was going to be bought for. But for whatever reason, whether it's something that Mikel Arteta has seen, the player talking to the manager saying that he feels he can do more than just to do that. For me, he's doing that kind of Granit Xhaka role was doing in the last seasons of his career with Arsenal. He's box to box. He's able to go back and help out with Zubimendi and the defence and be important there. But he's also able to, when he does pick up the ball, carry it, make up a lot of yardage, eat up a lot of mileage, the sort of like long runs like Vieira used to do. Gets the ball up the field and is also able to crash in the box and have a shot. And he almost got a goal today if it wasn't for Neuer's huge big foot, But he's getting in. But if you look at the play and what he's doing, this is going to continue to help us during this season.
Yeah.
Watch out for. There's not every goalkeeper is going to be Manuel Neuer with a big foot.
Yeah. Watch out for Declan Rice on Sunday. Watch out for Declan Rice. I think he'll be motivated. And he's already scored at Stamford Bridge a couple of years ago.
The scariest thing about all of this, right? The scariest thing about all of this is like we're doing this and we're not playing our strongest team. Gabriel Magalhaes is not available.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard has not been available.
Calafiori.
No, Calafiori is in and around still, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Kai Havertz has not been available.
Yeah.
Victor Gyökeres has now not been available.
Yeah.
Who was, again, everyone said there was that missing piece. Doesn't seem like it now. No disrespect to him, but what I'm saying is it's that, even somebody feels like if we'd never bought him, we'd still be doing all right. I'm glad he's here, but do you see what I'm getting at? It's not like, Haaland's out. What are we going to do? We're still able to do stuff, right? Gabriel Jesus, it's like sometimes you even forget he's part of the team. He plays an attacking role as well.
Yeah,
it's mental how many key players.
That
would have killed our season before. That sort of stuff has killed us in the past when we've had.
What you're talking about, Stan? What you're talking about, Stan, is the comment that BX has put down there, and Andrea Berta. was the missing piece, and maybe him bringing in I mentioned while you were getting the beer, I think Mosquera and Hincapié have come in. So if we have a Saliba or a Gabriel issue, they'll slot in seamlessly almost.
But think
You know?
about it. If you're a team, right? If you've got a football team and this is your squad, forget about those that are injured, right, for a minute. Let's say that what you've got, this is your squad, and this is where you are in the league. And then the next window opens and it's January, and you're able to add to your team Gabriel Megalegs, Kai Havertz, Victor Gyökeres,
Okay.
and is the other and who's the other
Gabriel
one?
Jesus, why not?
And Gabriel Jesus. You're able to say, this is what we're adding to the team. You just pass out. You'd be like, you'd just be like, what? Pinch me. And that's kind of like what's happening to us, right? We're doing this well right now. And that's not even to mention players that haven't even had a lot of minutes, like your Dalmans and your Weneras.
Good point.
You know, who are still there, hanging around, you know, available.
Yes.
If you were bringing those players in the transfer window in January, you think this is insane.
You make a good point.
You're top of the league in Europe and in England, and you've got those players that are now coming in to help the cause. You'd just be like, should we just do like the trophy presentation now and just save everybody a lot of time? I know I've been a little bit cocky there, but
we're feeling,
you know what I'm saying.
Let's feel confident, but not cocky, right? Let's feel confident, growing confidence. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like those players that have been injured will come back in December and January and have a freshness to their game once they get up to speed. And you know,
well, just one more thing. It's not like you've got players coming back when you're like mid-table or fighting to get into that Europe place, or you're suffering in the Champions League. They're coming back into a team which is at the top of the pile right now.
Yeah,
you'll be like, I just want to be a part of this, man. Yeah. I want to get on the field. I want some of this as well. It's not like fuck. Do you know what I mean? Fighting relegation, or we're going to get knocked out of the Champions League, and if I come back and it all goes wrong, and if this and if that, and I'll fuck. You're not in that mindset. You're just like, I want to look. You're watching the lads every week.
Yeah,
and you're looking at some players and thinking, I could be doing that job. I could be in there.
Yeah,
you can't wait. We're in such a good position. It's untrue.
Unbelievable.
It's untrue.
As Tiger and Gunner said some great points there, Stan, from Tiger and Gunner. He said that. It is unbelievable. They'll come back. They'll be fresh. And it's up to Mikel Arteta to be able to integrate them correctly and give them some minutes and bring them up to speed. But will Berta be held the way David Dean was? Well, David Dean did it for a number of years, I think. I think that what I want to see from Berta next would be, and we mentioned this on Sunday, maybe getting some cash in the door for players that would be exiting the door. You know what I mean? Mossy said, so good, muy bueno. I do was holding us back a bit, now hanging with Fat Greek barbecuing.
Now, here's my point about that, right? Because I think there are a lot of people get used to stuff and settle for stuff. Because a lot of people are going, I really like her doing. The dude's doing a great job and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, compare it to this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to like understand that there are like people that are more intelligent in what's going on than us that are making these decisions.
Yeah.
And you might have thought that some of the deals that are done, was good. But if you now look at it and compare it to this, like this is proper planning.
Top notch.
To me, this looks like proper planning to make sure that we have a strong squad. Andre Berta realizes that this is not a team of first 11s. This is a squad game.
And let me just another player who all Arsenal fans probably lifted one eyebrow like Roger Moore used to, as Bond. Madueke came in and we were all like, hold on a second, what's going on here? Do we really need him? And he's adding to the effort. He scored a goal. He scored the lead goal.
That's his first goal for Arsenal, isn't it?
First goal for Arsenal.
And what a good goal it was.
And it was a good goal, a good team goal as well.
Calafiori's part in that goal was excellent as well.
Yes. Rice, Rice intercepts the ball. I think he feeds Eze feeds it back to Rice. Rice feeds Calafiori, and a great cross from Calafiori. Um, Madueke is in
Well,
front of his defender, which is hard. That's hard to do. I haven't rewound it and seen the action of Madueke getting in front of his marker, but that's something that's hard to do. So I'd like to look at that later. But a great goal from Madueke, a great team goal, similar to the Bayern goal that equalized Timber's opening goal. Tony?
And I just want to make a point there, Madueke,
Yeah.
and this is certainly for me because you can wind these shows back and you'll hear me say it, and I think a lot of fans felt the same when we were linked with Madueke for over £50 million.
Yeah.
And I said this: it's not that I think that Madueke is a shit player. I was pissed off that it was just that really we're going back to Chelsea again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are they our feeder club? We'd always be in that Chelsea well. And for me, it was like, are we kind of strengthening, our rivals? Do you know what I mean? Like, we give them money for a player that they don't want. And then the next thing you're looking at them, like, fielding someone like Estavio. And you're like, why didn't we get the Estavio?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm pleased that he's, he got his first goal. And he does look sharp. He looks busy.
Yes.
He doesn't hide.
He's not doing anything that would make you, even though we're leading in.
He's on the front foot.
Yeah,
he's not a square it back guy, right?
We want his performances to be such that you're not going to question that 50 million in January after spending it in July or June.
When he gets the ball, his first thought is always, now I've got the ball, how can I get forward and do something? It's never like, I'll just square it back. I'll play it safe. I'll kick it. And sometimes you need that. You need that.
Yeah, and that's what the commentator said. A different opponent than Saka. Completely different opponent than Saka. So players sometimes inform how you're going to play. The type of player.
But isn't it reassuring when you see the player that's usually in that position and is one of your main players, they go off and they haven't got a goal.
Right.
Yeah, they could have been playing okay. Yeah. And then the replacement comes on and scores a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're opposition watching that on TV and you've got to play that team in a couple of weeks, you're thinking, oh, fucking hell. Even some back in the day, right? We would take a player off. Eddie Nketiah would be warming up to come on, and I would think to myself, if you're the opposition looking at that, you'd probably be like, ooh. So scared. You're not gonna, what I mean? And I don't mean to say out of order, but you know what I mean? Now you're looking at the players and like, fucking hell.
Your defender is like, happy days.
Eddie, taking him off, and this guy comes on and he can score as well. You're just like, you know what I'm getting at? That's good.
Yeah. Definitely great for with Chelsea in mind on Sunday. Bukayo Saka coming off after 60 minutes. Rest him again so he's fresh for Sunday. Madueke comes on and scores the leading goal.
That would be poetic justice.
Yeah,
that would be what, like, especially if you look at something like, you've got Eze scoring his first career hat trick against a team that he phoned up that didn't want to go to, our biggest rival, and who also during that week of press conferences when asked about Eze, Thomas Frank said, "Eze who?" So, that was quite poetic, his first career hat trick with that backstory. It would be equally as poetic if what you just described. We find ourselves in a situation, Madueke comes on and scores a winning goal. I mean, that would just be like,
Does football give you stories?
Some sort of movie script. So who's writing this?
Does that happen twice in a row? Does lightning strike twice in a row?
We'll find out.
Same place.
It won't be for if Madueke gets minutes. It won't be for the want of trying, because as you said, he just wants to make something happen when he gets the ball.
Yeah.
Tony, he might put it over, but he's going to cause a bit of chaos.
Yeah. Tony.
Yes.
Come back and focus.
One thing.
Is your house on a slant, Tony? You keep like wheeling off.
He's got that pan zoom going on.
Oh yeah. Or is Or is it someone? Is it someone filming him?
Yeah, he's on a cruise ship right now.
Yeah,
Let's
it doesn't
go.
look like a big cabin.
I just have a hologram of my house inside of it.
Well, you got. Did you have anything there, Tony?
No, it was a good goal.
Yes.
He got to play on his preferred right side.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get through a few comments and keep up, because if Mr. Tom's watching right now, he'll be laughing, going, right now. Steven said, this club right now has no weaknesses. It has the depth to absorb injuries with little drop in standards. And that's the thing. You're gonna carry 2, 3, 4 injuries through most parts of the season. Moss said, you the man, never see woodies and negative trolls. Be a real man, admit it like you just did. Always saw it coming. Tight unity. Mossy in the house. What else we got here? First tight unit. Get playing right away. Get the starting pieces. Now the depth. We can do this. Yeah, listen, I would say, why celebrate in May, and just why hold the celebrations till May? Feel confident and happy with what we're doing right now, and enjoy the wins as they come. And
They said what Gary always says: enjoy a ride.
Enjoy the ride, exactly. Like as each win cements and hopefully cements our lead in the Premier League, each win can also cement the Champions League. Now we'll talk about this. Tony and I like to talk Champions League. Listen, all you got to do is qualify in the top. What was it? The top 8 or top 16 to give yourself that bye,
Yep.
right? Top 16, whatever it is. Top 8 is it? Okay, you just.
So we kind of done the goals in the wrong order, because we didn't really talk about it. We went straight to the second goal, didn't we?
Yeah.
And missed out the first goal, which was Timber.
Set piece FC, Stan.
I love it. The more set pieces that piss people off, the better, because again, it just shows you that I really feel at the moment that when it comes to playing football as a team and utilizing all of the tools that you can have that are available to win a match, whether it's penalties, whether it's defending, whether it's how you control the midfield, whether it's attacking play, whether it's using corners, free kicks, penalties, we seem to be very good at all aspects of the game at the moment.
Yes.
And I know it sounds a bit boastful in that, but I can't believe how we're playing at the moment. And yes, we can think about the invincible season, but that was an excellent season, but it was done in a very different way to how it's being done now. I mean, we were fortunate enough to have players like Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry in the team, almost playing as a 2, right? We play a totally different way. We've had to go so long without having striker at times.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't notice. You just wouldn't notice. And the way that we've been able to reinvent certain players, like Mikel Mourinho, for example, I mean, this is really good stuff that we're seeing at the moment. And as I say, the thing that is mind-boggling to me is that we're doing it without our best 11. I can't keep saying that enough. That we've got so many key players yet to come back. Excuse my French, but it's like a mind fuck to me. Because a few years ago, if we had those many key players out, the ones that were coming in to shore up, they wouldn't have been up to the job. Look at a player like Martinelli. He's not had a run of matches of late.
Yes.
For whatever reason, Trossard's been doing well, but he can come into the team, and you can see that he wants to be picked every week because he's going for it.
Competition, right?
Exactly. Seeing that players. We were talking about Martinelli. So should we sell him? Should we sell Trossard? Which one of them should we sell? That was the conversation back in the summer. Yes. Now both of them are trying to really giving Mikel Arteta a problem of who he picks for that side.
Yeah, and admittedly that conversation coming off an injury. Admittedly that conversation coming off of an injury crisis that we had in spring, after January this calendar year, where, we didn't put a fight up against Liverpool. We weren't able to. We didn't go into the January market. But, you're right, Stan. Tony and I were talking about it as well before we went live. Martinelli stepping up. He might have not played a lot of games this season, but he scored some very important goals for us this season. The one against Man City at home in the league, right at the end, to get a 1-1 draw with City, that would have impacted the relative points between us and City. And the commentator said, I think he came on the field with the last 3 times in Europe he's scored when he'd come off the bench, Martinelli. So, but I have to say, and listen, I messaged you, Stan, about this, and maybe it's a real reach, right? It might be a real reach to compare Eze's vision and touch and passing to the great Dennis Bergkamp, but I see similarities to it. I see similarities.
Just talking about Martinelli's goal, for example, it was Eze that picked him out.
Yes. Eze that picked him out.
Basically set him off. Here you go. Get on that.
Yeah.
And there was that move where he got the ball. This first control when he got the ball down, and then he nutmegged Upamecano, and then got the ball back and just put it slightly wide. The confidence and the close control of that first touch and nutmegging, not panicking, keeping himself calm, nutmegging Upamecano, and then getting himself into a shooting position. That's very good. And
these are players they're just enjoying. They're enjoying their football right now, I think.
That's very good. And he's not a player that has any experience in Europe, right?
No. This would have been his first. Well, I don't know if he played in other Champions League games for Arsenal this season. We are working up here and watching NFL, says Mossy. Footy deserves a chilly night.
Can I also say as well, I think that we really are at a stage now. If you really are an Arsenal supporter and you want this team to do well, no matter what your feelings may be about certain players or even the manager, surely you've got to be at a stage now where you've just got to because you can see that this could be it. Surely you've got to be backing everything. You've got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And we've got to all pull as one. And whether it's on social media, whether you go to games, whatever, shouldn't we be behind this instead of looking for faults? We should be behind this. Whether you like Mikel Arteta or not, he's part of the driving force. And you can see that the way that this team plays, you can't deny that it's a team, a real team out there. You can see that they're all in it together. And we've got some of our key players happy to re-sign contracts. They want to be there. They're not like, fuck this guy's mental, we're out of here. They want more of it. They want more of it. And they know more than what we do. They can obviously feel, they can obviously smell that something's about to happen. And for me, if we get to the Champions League final this season,
yes,
I'm not going to talk about winning or losing it, but if we get to the final, for me, that's improvement. Because every year that we've been back in the Champions League under Mikel Arteta, every season, he's got us to the next stage.
Yeah. It's been demonstrated. You need to be
Each stage, he's got us to get. So we got to the semi-finals last season.
Yeah.
So let's get to the final.
Yeah. You need to be in this competition a number of years and learning from your mistakes. And sometimes you may go out of the competition unfairly and unluckily. You could say, as we did against PSG earlier this year, because you look at the subs bench, and we had nothing really of repute that we.
Yeah, as if Caviar is going to get on.
Yeah.
You're just like, you might as well have a mannequin sat in there. You might as well have me sat in there eating some chips, eating a kebab. Do you know what I mean? I get a good view of the game, but I'm not getting.
Mikel Arteta looks to the bench for who's he and stands like, all right, Mick.
Now we've got proper options.
Yes.
Proper options. I mean, Mosquera, You know, he's a right-footed player, but he looks okay on the left-hand side as well.
Should have scored tonight,
Yeah.
Mascara. And I mean, that was a lucky save from
Hincapié.
yeah.
You know, I can understand why he was rested because, you know, he had to fly quite far for his international game, right? He's got to go all the way to South America and shit, right? It doesn't help, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, he'll be okay for the weekend game.
Definitely. Question.
You know?
I think this question is for Tony. Tony's got to take this question at the bottom, right? Our bald Dutch manager is actually really not very good, Tony. Eric Ten Hag and Slaphead Slot. They're actually not very good. Sandy Consorli is still doing it at the age of 40. Yes. I prefer him with hair. Yeah, listen, great points, Stan. Great points. These are
With
Hincap.
all of the Achilles injuries, I'm surprised Carzola still wants to play.
Hey,
That's
you know,
hurt to turn on the leg still.
They say if you're a professional footballer and you enjoy playing football, keep playing for as long as you can because you know those boots get hung up and you're not able to do it anymore. Hincape reminds me though of like the butcher of Amsterdam, you know what I mean, or the butcher of whatever South American country he's from. You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with him. He looks quite nasty as a defender. Mossy said Kane has always been a German spy, English boys. That's why you will never win, and got German Tommy tickles. And I guess why I've never understood what Kane has said.
In Barassa and Ray, we got Obafemi, and we call him African Murder King because he's kind of played out to be this kind of like warlord from Africa.
Right. Steven said the Madueke deal got roasted because of its timing. We had some real holes to fill before we really needed them. I don't think any of us thought we would spend as much money as we did. Maybe it's a lesson, right? We should all take into these windows. You know, don't judge. And we say that at times. Don't judge the window until you see the full picture.
You just got to say as well about, you know, as much as we you know, we like to be playful a little bit about Harry Kane because he used to play for them across the road.
Yeah,
this guy is a quality striker, whether you like him or not. And you know, this year in the Champions League, in 4 matches, he scored 5 goals in Europe.
It was weird seeing him stay back and playing so deep.
You know, he's a good solid striker. You know, in the Bundesliga, he's played in 11 games and scored 14 goals.
And we kept him quiet.
He didn't get a sniff today.
No,
he did not get a sniff today.
That's because his mouth is always open.
And you know what? You know, Harry Kane isn't. You know, he's not a striker that just relies on service. He will come deep and look for the ball.
Yeah.
Right. He did not get a sniff.
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that we need to be hopeful about. If we can shut out a player like Harry Kane, who can get goals for himself out of nothing, he does not just rely on service, right? He will come back and look for something, and that's why it's quite high in assists as well. He's not shy. He'll come deep, and if he doesn't score, he's there for an assist as well. His assists are high.
Yeah.
Did not get a sniff. Yeah. That's got to give you confidence, man. When you look at what's left, I think in Europe, I think obviously Paris Saint-Germain. You know, you can't just discard them.
Chelsea beat Barca.
They went down a man, Barcelona.
Yeah.
So but that kid that they've got, Esteval, he does look very, very good.
Yeah.
He's quite sparingly. 18 years
old. So was the kid on Bayern today. He looked good.
Yeah.
Goal.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, yeah. The first name, right? Right. So is Trossard injured? People are saying he thinks Trossard was taken off as precaution, BX Gunner. And that's what we can do now. We have the squad. We have the squad now. If you have the precautionary situation with a player, you can take him off the field and give him a few days treatment, and he'll be back for the next game. without
That's
missing.
kind of what he looked like. He was motioning and gesturing during when he was laying down.
Mm-hmm.
That he could go if he needed to, but it seemed like he'd rather play this weekend.
Yeah.
Play Sunday.
Why, as Stan has been saying, why risk it when you have such a, I don't want to call it an embarrassment of riches, but a well-built and compiled squad that's capable of, now should be capable of taking the rigors of a full season across 4 competitions.
It was refreshing to not see back, Saka coming off in the 88th minute for someone.
Right. Exactly.
That was quite refreshing. And the person that came on wasn't just like a dead weight. It wasn't just filling in space. Actually ended up making a major contribution. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's the message you're sending out.
They both did. Both those subs, it was a 60-minute work because that's when Calavieri came on because Skelly was having a nightmare back there.
Yeah. And that's partly protecting Skelly, but partly,
he's young.
He's only had a few games as well. Getting him, he wouldn't have been able to go a full 90. Boss said, Gyökeres, Madueke, Havertz.
He's got so much development yet, and he's not even playing in his favoured position. So you've got to cut the guy some slack. He's not like he's had 4 games in a row and he's been stinking the house out. He's been, got to cut him some slack.
He barely featured, which I don't agree with.
Kids had a man of the match in his country. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, let's get through Chelsea. There's a couple of other tricky games coming up, but there will be minutes for Miles Lewis-Skelly to play as well. Arsenal banned the bros. We should have had like 7 goals. I at least counted a couple. We mentioned the Declan Rice shot that was saved by the big foot of Manuel Neuer.
He stopped so many with his hands too. It's crazy that he made that big of a mistake in the end.
He's got Seinfeld big hands.
He kept out Declan as well.
Mosquera, we had the Mosquera and the Declan Rice shots and headers. Did well to save the Mosquera one. You were thinking anywhere else but his elbow, and he scores there. Mikel Merino really should have scored. He headed the ball wide as well.
I mean, if you're a Bayern Munich supporter and you've got a poll of who was the team's man of the match, it was Neuer. Because it could have been 5-1.
Totally have to be, yeah. And yet, I think they said on the post-game show, he was the first one in the dressing room really irritated with himself because goalkeeper made a mistake, a very vital mistake, in the last 15 minutes. Marino was a beast today. He didn't do any of the glory work today, but got into the trenches and he fought them the entire 90 minutes, doing all the dirty work that had to be done. Sort of Victor Gyökeres kind of work. We talked about Gyökeres 6-yard box, Havertz 18-yard, and
did we answer that question before? I think on the last podcast I asked you, and I can't remember. Forgive me. When I said that we kind of have 2 styles of play, right? When Gyökeres is in the team, you can see that it's very pointed, and we know where the striker is. We had that discussion. Like, at any moment you can pause the video and say to someone, which one of those is our striker? And they'll always go, that guy. Because we play very pointed with him. But when we don't play with him, we play with Havertz, who's kind of a little bit in between, but definitely with Marino, who comes deeper, we play a slightly different way. And I was wondering which you prefer. And I remember we had a conversation about it, and I said that as much as I appreciate Gyökeres, the style that we play, when we don't have like a pointed number 9, like he's been playing it, and we have, for me, the perfect one is Havertz, because he's in between Marino and Gyökeres, the areas that he covers. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to having him back. And again, he was a player that when we first bought him, I wasn't up for the sale. Yeah. Again, because it was like we're going to Chelsea. We're going to give him the money for this guy that they don't want. And he was coming off the back of a terrible season with Chelsea, wasn't he? Terrible season.
Seven goals.
terrible.
It was horrible. And the money
until
we paid, and we seem to, usually it's like, oh, we're taking our time. With
65 million.
him, it was like, here's the money, see you later. It was like it was like, what? We've done the deal. It was like, yeah, that's all done. And I was a little bit like, oh, but he has, for me, put in shifts for Arsenal. He was unfortunate to have a couple of injuries this season, and I think it was the other season where he had an injury in the middle of the season. He was on like 15 goals.
Yes,
he's going to be important for us if we keep him fit. I really
he plays a little bit like Harry Kane, as you mentioned. I
prefer Havertz over Gyökeres. That style of play for me.
Yeah. Listen, with Gyökeres injured, he should be back soon. Havertz will be back. We'll get a look at Havertz again. There will be a mix-up in there of
and I've got a feeling that Mikel Arteta does as well.
Games. Yeah.
Given the choice.
He's got a little bit of those Giroud qualities to him.
Carl's side bottom said.
Let me ask you this one: given the choice, right? If Gyökeres is 100% fit and Kai Havertz is 100% fit, and there's only that one position, in the middle, who does he pick? If it was tomorrow, this week, I think he goes for Havertz. I would
go with Gyökeres.
But not you. What do you think, Mikel Arteta? I think he prefers. I think he would go for Havertz. I think so.
When Gyökeres went down is when he started scoring the goals.
It's about trust with Mikel Arteta, and I think he's been with Havertz for a while. He made a statement about getting him. He's kind of, I don't think initially he was bought for the position that he plays most in now. I think initially he was bought for another position.
And he kept playing there until we had the injury.
Right, well, let me ask you a question.
They've now seen that, a little bit like Mika Mourinho, that I can play you in this other role. And it does, and you can contribute to doing that. So
Ray has a question. So
let me ask you, Stan, a question, and Tony and everybody in chat box chime in as well. If Havertz had a good preseason and been able to start the season and had as many games as Gyökeres has played, would he have scored more goals than Gyökeres by now?
Yeah, I think so. And it's again because of the style of play is different, the positioning.
Yeah.
Havertz wouldn't have been in and around the box being marked out by a couple of players.
So he would have been able to.
He would be in other areas of the pitch, and sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want to have a player that's going to be more forward,
occupying.
But I think that because of the way that we play and the way that the wingers play as well, and the midfield, and we've got players like Calafiori and Timber, the fullbacks, which will always get into that box area as well, into positions. It causes a lot of confusion for the other team because they've got a lot of players crashing in. Declan Rice is coming in there as well. Sometimes there's like 5 players fanned out. And you're like, fuck, who am I supposed to be on here?
And for the chat box, right? For the chat box, it's not a slight on, as Stan has explained, it's not a slight on Gyökeres' skills or Havertz's skills. It's just trying to imagine, at this point in the season, if Havertz had as many minutes as Gyökeres.
It's funny though, because if this was FIFA and I had our basic team and I had those players, I would be playing in a formation which would look something with like Gyökeres being the furthest one, but I would also have Havertz in the team playing off of him in a deeper role, like a Bergkamp and Henry.
Yeah.
People don't play that formation anymore, right? You play more with striker. That means I've got to sacrifice someone in midfield, and the way that the game is played today, most teams they have the one. You know what I mean? That's why you start getting the false 9, because you have some players that are playing like a João Felix, right? He's not an out-and-out striker.
They would
usually back in the day, someone like João Felix would be playing off of Alan Shearer,
They would combine really well.
Do you know what I mean? But we don't.
Yeah,
a lot of teams don't do that anymore.
Like to see that, Stan, because I think that they would combine really well, and in those situations.
But who are you taking out? Because you're keeping your wingers in, right? You're going to keep in your two wider players who can come into midfield, but for argument's sake, you're not going to take out Saka, and you're not going to take out Martinelli, Stroker, Trossard, right? So then that leaves you with there's three in the midfield. One of them's got to go. Zubimendi's got to go. Rice has got to go.
I'd take Zubimendi. I'd take Zubimendi out because then I think Rice and Eze could have
it
that.
It does mean now that your midfielders are having to do a lot more work.
Well, Rice and Eze could do that.
But I think it can be done, especially if that player who's like a Havertz is willing to, when you're off the ball, he has to come deep.
Now, remember back.
He has to almost be that third man in the midfield, right?
Yeah. Well, remember your two midfielders back in the day. One would be more defensively minded, and the other would be more attacking minded.
But you were going up against teams that had a similar shape in the middle of the field.
Yeah. Like Vieira and Petit. Vieira
look at Man United. They play with two in midfield sometimes, and they get overrun.
Yeah. They
get overrun.
I don't know if we'll ever see 4-4-2 again, Stan. You know what I mean?
Or 4-4-1-1.
Well, we go to that off the ball. We go to a 4-4-2. Off the ball.
Tiger.
There are sometimes when I look at games, and I always go to the lineup. You know what you see on the screen when you see a pre-game lineup. Sometimes it's not actually how the team might play, but I do sometimes see a lot more formations recently that seem to be playing with two up front. Like,
so hold on there, Stan. We got a couple of answers to that pose. Will be posed. Tiger and Gunnar said Havertz would have scored more because he's familiar with the league, more familiar with the league than Gyökeres. That's what Tiger and Gunnar said. So leaning toward Havertz. And Stephen, there are some misfits, said, I'm not so sure that Havertz would have scored more goals, except for 3 games we have been much more direct. So there aren't as many crosses coming from the wings, you know. But I think Havertz can play through the middle as well and get through balls as well, you know. Is Arteta's hair 3D hair printed, and does that not give him an unfair advantage over rubbish, bald Dutch managers? Indeed. And Neuer was a fish out of water, flapping. In that situation, the goalkeeper had to make a decision. He made the incorrect decision. It's always crazy.
He was so good for so much of that match. Then it's just like,
but they sort of
shit in the middle of the field. It's like
they were really pushing in the last 15 minutes for that goal, and you know the ball was stroked to Eze, and Eze kind of crested the ball in a way that it sort of bounced up, and then he was able to chip that ball with the wind. I think the wind helped as well, hold it up a bit. He judged it perfectly into Martinelli's stride. Martinelli's, for once, do you think it was kind of like whatever touch Martinelli was getting? Do you think he knew do you think Martinelli knew what he was doing, Stan and Tony?
One of the things that I liked about that goal is that they had the ball and they managed to get the ball into our penalty box.
Yes.
And we took the ball off of them in the penalty box. And
yes.
I can't remember who it was that who did that move. It might have been Zubimendi. It wasn't. I don't think it was Saliba. But we got the ball back in our penalty box without committing a foul. It was passed to someone else. He then passed it. I can't remember who that was. And then it got to Eze. And as I looked up, Martinelli was off, and they timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
And it was still a lot to do, right? Martinelli could have clattered into the keeper and fell down, but he didn't. He timed it perfectly, got over him, got around him. And then...
Ray, could you tell the audience what you said before the show?
Specifically about Martinelli or what?
Yeah, Martinelli and his goal attempt.
And his goal... Yeah, I thought
you thought he was going to still miss it somehow.
I thought he was going to still miss it somehow.
That was a great goal because that's like you turn a team out when you do that, right? They've got the ball in your penalty box.
Yes.
They're in the place. They're in the place where they can do the most danger. The goal is just there, and before they know what's happened, the ball is gone. And now it's a one-on-one with the keeper, and the ball's in the back of the net. You're like, I thought we were just doing this.
Over.
We were right here.
Exactly.
Their goal was
It's
right
like-
there, and all of a sudden the ball's up there in that net. How? What? And if you're watching that as other teams, you're like, fuck.
Chelsea players are watching this for sure. Retroholic gamer in the house. Hey everyone, I don't get notifications. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're well as well, Retroholic gamer. Chelsea game depends on which Chelsea team shows up. We either blow them out or win by 2, and a tough, rough, hard-fought match. They're already talking to Declan Rice about the midfield battle that's going to be happening with Caicedo. Declan Rice kind of swerved a little bit, saying he's a different
Played against him before. It's not a big deal.
he's a different profile of midfielder, so they may not technically come face to face. He's a box, as Stan said, he's a box to box midfielder. Declan Rice is,
As we finally have figured out.
As finally, no more debates or comparisons to Rodri of Manchester City. DX said, with Hincapi back on Sunday, Chelsea won't get a sniff or a whiff. Marino was a big reason why we held the midfield so well. His play there is part of what I posted earlier. No slide on Gary, but I remember Gary saying, a couple of seasons back, what does Mikel Marino do? I can't figure it out. He does wear quite a few hats, Mikel Marino does. Havertz needs match fitness first, so I think Arteta brings Kai on off the bench. Kai Marino, I like the same player.
Or you can tell on how he's really to get the minutes.
I think it's tough to say.
We're having a friendly Friday against Man United, so those guys
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's stupid.
I'm not quite sure. BX kind of feels Kai is a similar profile to Mikel Marino. I think they're slightly different myself. Kai has got the skills, a little bit more mobile, but I would say Mikel Marino, for being a midfielder, is probably a little bit more efficient. And
As I said,
he's just so good at being positioned.
Yeah, Mikel takes his chances more than Kai
If you look
does.
at the profile
He's
of
like never out of position.
The profile of Marino, Havertz is kind of in between.
I believe in between the two. Yeah, Kai has excellent movement. This is what I read out before. I think Havertz would have scored more because more familiar with the league than Victor Gyökeres. Miss Melina, welcome to the house. Hi, Ray, Stan, and Tony. Hope you're having a good lead up to Christmas and the holidays. Retroholic gamer, when you switch to 4-4-2 in modern game, your wingers would be more defensive and you wouldn't get the same sort of pressing intensity as the front three. True.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But you can always still press with your full.
Yeah, you could. Well, you could push your wingers on. You get a press of 4. Maybe drop maybe your creative striker, whichever one that is, into midfield as well. There's ways and means. Martinelli is a hell of a lot more clinical this season, and this is
competition.
Competition. Yeah, I think we can all agree.
You want to play at Arsenal, you've got to do your bit, because now there's other people that you let them in. You think, oh, my toes a bit sore, I can't play today. You're going to think, well, I can play through that, because if that guy gets in, I might not get in again.
Yeah, grab some of that bench over there.
Remember I said to you before where we used to have a situation where I used to believe that our squad used to be so small at times. There were some players in this team that no matter what, they're going to get picked. And for example, Hector Bellerin, we got to a stage where we didn't have any other kind of a right back. And if he was fit, Hector Bellerin would play, which meant that even when he was playing a bit shit, to him, he probably felt like you find yourself in the middle of a game and you're playing badly, and you must be able to say to yourself, like, you con yourself, you go, I know I'm playing bad today, but I'm gonna make up for it next week. I'll do better next week. I'll work harder, because you know you're gonna get picked, and then before you know it, next week you're having the same conversation.
Yeah,
you're conning yourself, but you know that there's no one else. Because of that, you get complacent. Because of that, you get complacent, and now players know that if they find themselves in the middle of a bad game, they need to do something about it, because next week they might not have the opportunity. And that is brilliant. That's where you want to be. That's the sort of threat that you want hanging over you. You need to know that, if you get taken out of the game because you're not on it, that could affect things. There's another guy that can come in and is just as good. He could nail that down and get the confidence of the manager.
Yeah.
What position to be in?
Big difference between
Definitely.
playing 13 to 15 guys and now playing 26 guys plus academy kids.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I mean, the squad is always in modern football 25 players, but the manager has to feel comfortable. It's the amount of players that the manager feels comfortable using. We're actually seeing that in other clubs as well, that, certain managers are not comfortable using certain players, and they're having very, very poor seasons as a consequence of that.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You seen Chelsea with like 50 players.
Yeah, we talked about that. They had to change in the hallway. Yeah, or rotate the dressing room. All right, lads, you got 5 minutes to get changed. We got to
Get your
rotate.
jock strap on together.
Yeah. Neuer was shocking in his decision making today. Maybe that mustache he's sporting has something to do with it. Listen, the stress,
maybe it was obstructing his vision.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, I would say maybe the stress that this Arsenal team puts on their team, you start to try to compensate for that. You try to start make a rash decision where you wouldn't have done it in the past. And I think that's where Manuel Neuer was. Like you said,
people have to understand that we just beat a team today that had the best record in Europe. Won 17 out of 18 games, and the other one they drew. They haven't lost in 18 games.
Yeah,
and we smashed them. We outplayed them. We outplayed them.
The secret to Arsenal's success is the fundamentals of football. You set about to work hard. That's the first requirement, right? You work hard, you go on the field, work hard. And you have said it, Stan, in the past. Arsenal's probably the best team out of possession. We're probably the best out of possession team in Europe and England. And we work so hard to get that ball back.
Well, I'm going to go one further than that now, because I did say on it a number of times that I did feel that off the ball we were probably the best team in the world when it comes to the off the ball stuff. And if we could add the other stuff to it, the creativity leading to more of an attacking, then we'd be in a place. And I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
I don't want to look. I think that at the moment we're one of the best teams in the world. There's maybe only another couple of teams that could maybe, give us a hard time if we were having a bad day.
Now, here we are
in the world, and I'm talking about maybe Paris Saint-Germain. If we were ever having a bad day, they're a good team, right? Maybe Real Madrid. But look at them today. Mbappe scores 4, but they let in 3. They let in 3. We don't let 3 in.
No.
That's where we are at the moment.
That's the difference.
We don't. Definitely. So are they really a problem? Liverpool aren't a problem.
No,
current reigning champions. And that's what I'm sure we're going to get to that. And Man City blow hot and cold.
Yeah.
They're not consistent at the moment.
It's about
we are bang up there, man. We are bang up there. And everybody, take away people on Twitter, but in the football world, when it comes to players, managers, they're looking at Arsenal at the moment as like, this is a team to be taken serious.
Yeah. And Stephen, the Arsenal misfit here, this is a team to be taken seriously, because I remember Stephen saying, rightly so, a couple of seasons ago, that we were not progressing the ball quickly enough. We were not moving the ball quickly enough. Teams were able to get back into position. Now you see the likes of Martinelli, that goal strikes fear into the defenders of our opponents. It's something they have to keep in mind, so they will back off the press sooner.
I still think we're a little too methodical and slow going forward.
Yeah, but I think what happens is, you find a player like Eze
Exactly.
outside the penalty box, you give him the ball. He's got the tools, and you've seen it now already with Martinelli a couple of times. He's got the tools to find the wingers with those balls, with those long passes.
But
And
isn't that what
dangerous.
you want to see, Ray? Is what you see today is long balls because
Yeah,
we didn't want to play our normal
the
style of
one
ball
long ball
because
that,
we didn't
that
want
broke
balls
the
taken
game.
away from us
The
and
one
do
the
the
one
counters.
long ball that saved that killed the game off for us was that pass from Eze to Martinelli.
And he's our number 10, and look how deep he was in that
Yes.
defensive move. Because as I say,
What-
they had the ball. They got the ball into our penalty box. They got into the best place to be.
Working
It's
hard.
the best place where you want to have a football. And Eze was deep. He's supposed to be a number 10, but he, and you look at, and that's where you have a player like Kevin De Bruyne in his last season. He wasn't able to do stuff like that. His legs wouldn't let him get around, right? Our number 10 is deep, and then he's got the vision to set off the attack with Martinelli.
So you see that from Eze for the third goal. In the second goal, he's involved in that inside left channel to release Calafiori. Rice and him release
Yes.
Calafiori. And the story with the ball that Calafiori was able to put in there.
Perfectly weighted for Calafiori, that ball.
Yes, that's the thing as well. I'm not saying he's Dennis Bergkamp. He's not saying he's the reincarnate of Dennis Bergkamp. But there's something to be said for a player who knows the weight of pass that can
And
play.
his touch, his touch, like we saw that move where he's touch at the moment. I know what you're getting at. He's got a very good touch.
Calafiori didn't have to do anything but run into that space, address the ball, and get Madueke the cross that he needed. Calafiori didn't need to make a touch at all. If that's a bad ball, Stan and Tony, if Eze just plays it into that corner, Calafiori's got to run somewhere to collect it. He might carry it into the box, and the chance might die there. But Eze's put it on a plate for Calafiori to dish it.
This is where you need to be to take the shot, basically.
Yes.
I'm going to put the ball in the place where you need to be to take the shot. Not where you're in a dangerous position. You got to stop, take a touch, and then pass it to someone else.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in the danger zone.
Precision.
Do you know what I mean?
Precision.
All you got to do is hit it from here. But Madueke had a lot to do.
I got that song "Danger Zone" in my head now.
But Madueke had a lot to do. He had a lot of players around him.
Do you see F-16s taking off from aircraft carrier?
No, is that Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins.
That's where Arsenal's going to be.
I think it was Kenny Loggins in the danger zone.
Chelsea are only second in the league because of the easy fixtures they have had. Yeah. Well, we do have a tricky game away from home at their place. That'll be tough on Sunday, but we'll get to that. Zoulander's career never recovered from his injury. Without his speed, he was an average player. That's Hector Bayern. Hector Bayern. We're unlocked. Yeah, so
I still wish we took the 50 million that Barcelona were to give for him, and that was after Van Dijk.
yeah. Mikel Arteta, kudos to Mikel Arteta, Andre Berta, everyone else is involved. It's taken a number of years for us to get into the situation where we feel increasingly confident, right? I think you said it on Sunday, Stan. You feel like very confident about this season, more so than other seasons.
Let me use the word. Let me rephrase that. As I said before, even though we'd finished second a few seasons in a row, although I was excited and saw some good things, I always had doubts that we had enough to get to first. I wanted it to happen and I was willing it to happen, but it wasn't a shock to me when we didn't for those 3 seasons, because I always felt that we didn't have the right depth for a team that is notorious for injuries. We didn't have enough depth to cover. But this season, to me, that's the main difference.
Yeah.
And I think that if we've now got that bit covered, I think we've got enough to get it. So it's not that I'm confident that we're going to win it. I will change it to the word confident to optimistic. And usually at this point in the season under Mikel Arteta, I've always maybe been enjoying it, but I've been like, I've been pessimistic about it because I didn't think we had enough to sustain it against what was around us.
Cautious, maybe.
This season, I think we do.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic that we can get something.
Yeah. Stephen here says Neuer has never been under plenty of pressure over his long and storied career. I'm just wondering if 38, his age, is starting to catch up to him. He's a professional footballer. He'll bin this one and go back to dominating the Bundesliga. Tony,
I still thought he was doing a good job stopping a lot of goals.
Is the Bundesliga a weaker league now, Tony, in your opinion?
It's always been a weaker league. It's less weak now because it's just not one team. It's three or four teams now.
Leverkusen beat City. That was a strange result, right? As well. Dortmund.
I mean, it's always been a good place to send a player out on loan and develop them. That's what we did with Gnabry. We just ended up loaning him out. Then he got sold.
Dan is spilling his skipples. Tom Cruise.
He's sorting out the yellow ones or whatever color he doesn't want.
Tony, you're right that sometimes we still fall back into that awful Arteta ball. It happened in the Tottenham game in the first half. We played the whole first half against Sunderland. Listen, I think we expect human beings to be robots sometimes as well. And I think sometimes my thoughts of it anyway is that we've become such a good team that we're now one entity, and we're able to take a 20-minute controlled break where we're sort of playing chess with our opposition or toying with our opposition. And that's what happened with Tottenham after 30 minutes. I was expecting us to be a goal up after 30 minutes against Tottenham, but then we came to life when we needed to. Like, I feel like the team is now so good that we can press the weak areas of other teams and gain an advantage and get the first goal. As BX Gunner says, the team is playing with confidence and belief. When you have confidence and belief, you know that eventually your methods are going to reap rewards, I think, you know.
Here's a difference between us and Tottenham. Here's a difference between us and Tottenham, right? In the last two games, they've given up 9 goals. In our last 2 games, we've given up 2.
Yes. Huge. That's huge.
That's a difference.
BX, I agree. We haven't played with this kind of confidence since we went 16-1-1 2 seasons ago, only to lose the title on our last day. Yeah, that was a tough one, but you know, other teams have won the league having had lost it in that way, and we've been second a couple or 3 times now. So,
but even during that period when we went through that run, for me, it always felt like if you get an elastic band, right, and you stretch it to as much as it can, I kind of felt like that's where we were. There was nothing else. There was nothing extra. We were just playing with this. We were just like, you know, we had injuries, you know what I'm getting at? We just didn't have enough. And there were other teams around us where their elastic band wasn't as tight. It was a bit. Do you know what I'm getting at? Whereas this season, I feel that we've got that bit of slack. Yeah. Because again, man, I can't imprint this enough. Look at what we've done this season, and look how many of our key players are missing. It's ridiculous that these players are all going to be coming back in and around January. As I said before, imagine if this was a team without those players and this is where you were with what you've got now, and you found out in January that you were signing those players as a booster, you just have a heart attack. What we signed? What? That's what's happening to us. Needless to say, that we may even, on top of those people coming back, there may even be a signing in January as well. Who knows? Who knows if we make money?
With all of that being said,
Million.
we're talking about two competitions right now: the league and the Champions League. Where are we in the Carabao Cup? Is there another round before the quarterfinal, or is it a
quarterfinal?
It's a
We're still in it,
quarterfinal.
aren't we?
What's that, Stan?
We're still in it.
We're still in it, and Tony tells me it's a quarterfinal. So we're going to be playing Brighton, right? I think it's Brighton. So here we are, going really well in the Premier League and the Champions League, a quarterfinal in the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup as well. And as Stan has phrased it, players coming back in time for an FA Cup run as well. So those players come back to full fitness. Mikel Arteta's got 22, 23 players available to him to be able to mount an FA Cup run as well. Then we start thinking about two or three competitions going into February and March. Just like the good old days under Arsene Wenger back in the early part of the century.
Not tying us our earliest exit from the domestic cups for a fourth straight year.
No, we've had a good not in recent years, but in years gone by, we've had a good record in the FA Cup. So we obviously want to renew that and keep that going again.
Me and Ray were born in FA Cup winning years.
We were indeed.
8 years apart, but
71 and 79 then. You're a young one. People say the big bad city shark is coming, not knowing that we have become the shark hunters. LOL. Yeah, I mean, we've surpassed. It took a number of years under Mikel Arteta, but we are now in a better position.
Bless you.
One more. Thank you.
That's a hat trick.
Yeah, as I can do it.
Hay fever trick.
I can snazz it with the best of them.
Hay fever trick.
Yeah, we surpassed Liverpool and City now, where we believe we are superior. It's funny. You come out of August and you're thinking, blimey, Liverpool have got some decent players, and they did what they did last season. Well, it's all gone sideways for them. We have gone the right way then, as it's been proved, right?
Yeah, supplemented it off a road and ended up in a farmer's pond.
Yeah. Aze's first hat-trick against Tottenham since Alan Sunderland in 1978. 47 years old, 2 days before Christmas, and Liam Brady scored a screamer. Tiger and Gunner. New name in here, DJ's Hata Hennessy Arteta to receive a masterclass tutorial on how to manage a team by Maresca on Sunday.
It's a good matchup. I think it's a very good matchup because if you look at the players that Chelsea that have available, there's some good players in there. There's usually when they do that thing when they show you the two teams and they say who could get into this team and who could get into that team. I look at some of the Chelsea players, and if they were wearing red shirts, I wouldn't be like, I'll get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy.
I always there
was a world, right? Think about it. There was almost a world, or what do you call it, a multiverse, where Caicedo went to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And not Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And what I'm saying is, it's like, had that had happened, we would probably we'd probably be happy, right? Because he looks like a very decent player, as Caicedo. But then it worked the other way for us, right? We were almost going to get Mudryk, and they picked us to the post with more money, and that did not pan out. We dodged.
I remember.
We didn't dodge a bullet. We dodged like one of those big fuck off howitzer shells from World War II, and big fucking brass things. Not just a bullet. That's how we got out of that one.
A bunker buster.
I would say as well that I'm not 100% sure why they bought Garnacho. I think that and the reason that I say that is not because I think Garnacho is a terrible player, but I think that they already have players in house.
Well,
more that could be in that position.
Garnacho was their Madueke.
They got him from Man United.
Yeah, Garnacho must have been their Madueke for us.
But they do have some good players, right? They've got Neto. He was linked with Arsenal for a period of time when he was at Wolves. Good player, good player, and the goal that he scored against Barcelona, even though they were
Fernandez, right? Enzo.
He plays a little bit hot and cold. He does. I think he does like a little bit of consistency.
Yeah,
but when he does play very well, he plays very well. And he was unlucky not to get a goal in the game that I saw. But the one that really stood out to me that I think could be like like when you get like a player that becomes a legend, and I think that this Estavio guy could be like one of Brazil's next big things. Yeah. I think that there could be a time when you'll be looking back when he played in the Premier League at 18, a little bit like when you're looking back at players like Neymar or Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he could become that good, Estavio. So what I'm trying to say is like, this is going to be a big test. The only thing I would say that about Maresca and Chelsea is that he does change the team about a lot. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he does change the team around a lot sometimes. It appears to me. Maybe I'm wrong. But they haven't got Cole Palmer. And again, as good as the players that I've listed there, they do seem a little bit inconsistent as well.
Maybe we do have a Chelsea.
They're probably where we were a few years ago. They're still a little bit inconsistent. They're not, we've got, our players have a lot of history of each other now. We've got a lot of stuff in the bank.
Well, we do have that Chelsea fan in the chat box, and maybe he could tell us his thoughts. He does feel confident for Sunday, thinking we'll go ahead and win the league, but we'll lose twice to Chelsea.
And he could be right. It could be one of those where, as I say, you don't expect your team to win the league and they win every game. Or the ones that they don't win, they draw. There's going to be losses against, there's going to be, for example, Liverpool, they won with a piece of magic with that free kick.
Yes.
Did you know what I'm getting at? They didn't outplay us.
But now we're like, why? How did we lose to this team?
This is what football can do. And what he's saying there is that Arsenal could win the league but lose twice to Chelsea. It's a little bit like when Leicester won the league, but we beat them.
Yeah, twice.
But we didn't win the league.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck. Chelsea could be that team where, we win, but they're the team that managed to get the better of us. And they're the ones that we're thinking, it's going to get the manager thinking, okay, we need to watch that. We need to watch those guys. There's something going on there. Do you know what I'm getting at? I agree with you, DJ Shaughnessy, for sure. There's always a team like that that's out there. And Chelsea can be that team. What I'm saying is, if we do lose to Chelsea or only get a point, we shouldn't be disheartened about it and start going crazy.
No.
Because you cannot expect to win every single game, man. This ain't FIFA. You cannot. You can win the league and lose some games.
It
just doesn't happen. Even when we were invincible, we drew some games. It's just,
I was willing to accept a draw tonight, but we beat Tottenham on Sunday, but before that we drew to Sunderland. I just wouldn't like to have 3 league games in a row where you just win one of them and you draw 2. You're dropping some points. So, it depends on how the game goes on Sunday. If we survive a torrent of pressure and Chelsea have a raft of chances that they haven't taken, I'll be happy with the draw at the end of the day. But if we've
I definitely think that we've got.
created chances where we should win the game, and
I
then we
definitely
draw.
think that, you know, as good as I like, as much as I like Chelsea, and I've been praiseful of them, I do think we've got a better defense than they have, and that's only because there's been, you know, we just have a better defense and a better keeper than them.
I think we're better in
And
all.
I think that gives us a bit of an edge.
Yeah, I think we're better in all areas of the field. So if football
No, they can
games
be
are
very good on
won,
the attack. They can.
if football games are won on paper, you know, we should win this game with 2 goals to spare, I would say. But football is not played on paper. You know what I mean?
I would just say that for me, our defense gives us an edge, not the attack. Our defense.
Okay. There's some discussion about Declan Rice coming up. So, listen, years ago, before Arsenal became really good under Mikel Arteta, I feared that Declan Rice would be tempted to go to Chelsea. But as we phased through a 5th place finish and then, uh, what was it, a 2nd place finish, uh, then it became more and more of a situation where I thought, yeah, Declan Rice is going to come to Arsenal. And we even had the discussion on this channel where members of the panel here um, discussed whether they thought it would be Caicedo or Declan Rice that would come to Arsenal ultimately. So I feel our renaissance coincided with Declan Rice coming to Arsenal. You know, yeah. If we hadn't gotten better, Tony, I'll go to Tony first. Declan Rice could and probably would have gone back to Chelsea.
Yeah, it could happen, but that's not what happened. And I just wonder how much stuff would be sped up if you have Berta. Would we have to be sitting there 5, 6, 7 years waiting for us to have a chance to win both the Champions League and the league?
Yeah,
But
it's
Berta did
crazy.
I mean, Berta instantly filled every hole, minus the left wing, but
Yeah,
can't have everything.
he identified the areas that we needed in order to, as Stan would say, get to a final of a Champions League. Have a good enough squad to allow us to be competitive to get to the final of a Champions League. If not, win it. You know.
But I don't think he gets enough credit for building squad depth instantly.
No, but I think he's also a very private and quiet. He's not like he's not a swashbuckler like Edu was, you know, out there with the media talking.
Oh, there for this barbecue.
Andrea Berta has been very low key, gone about his business.
I just think
knows what we needed.
If you're a neutral watching Arsenal play, you really do see a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see like 8 people and 3 superstars, 3 people. You know what I'm getting at? It's very, it really is a team thing. And that takes a little bit of building. And I think that's why I'm saying that even if we end up winning the league and we lose a couple of games to Chelsea, it's that's given us the edge. Chelsea ain't there yet. But they've got, but if they keep those players together,
yeah,
in another season and a bit maybe, those players will then start, hopefully, if you've got a good manager, that's the sort of bond you want. Like a bond in a team. Yeah. Where it's an actual team and you're playing together. Chelsea played good football. And listen, there's one player that I don't really like, right? And that's Cucurella. Never liked him. I can't stand him. But, if you watch him playing at the moment, he's playing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Just like taking off.
Oh, you don't like all that hair,
I just never really liked him. Something about him. But he's playing some really good football at the moment, which is quite annoying.
Too grizzly for Stan.
Arsenal Misfit said, all I can say is thank God we got Trossard for 60 million less than Garnacho at the time. Our Chelsea fan said here, Arteta built the perfect team. The only reason you will lose to Chelsea is the easy adaptation since recently. Not quite sure what that last part of that means. Is the easy adaptation since recently. Um, if you could just expand on that, let me know. Martinelli will score against Chelsea from his own half again. Um, and what were we saying? Yeah, we can see Stan and Tony. We can see Chelsea as a team that is progressing. You know, they've got to the fifth place. They've won the lower tier competition and pushed into the Champions League now, and find themselves in second place. Even if after 12 games, the league should start to be evening out a little bit as we approach halfway and everybody has played each other one time at least. You're starting to see the real competitors now, and Chelsea find themselves in second place.
As I said before, they got some good players. João Pedro, good player. Neto, good player. Good Corella, good player. You know,
It's a
Well, you can
boiled down.
see-
I say though, you don't even see much of that Lavia. Do you remember Lavia? He was quite,
He's injured a lot, I think.
he was from Southampton. They've got a lot of good players, but I just think that they're in that place where we were, a few years ago, where you're still gelling, you're still getting to know each other. There's a real bond at Arsenal. We're in the project. We're ahead of Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely.
They're on that similar path. Do you know what I mean?
You can see them.
They've really started. Give it a few more years, man. They've still
They
got
need
those
a
plans
goalkeeper. Yeah, they need a goalkeeper, a striker, and maybe a couple of
Look
defenders.
how many goalkeepers we went through to get to where we are.
Yeah.
How many? How many goalkeepers? Under fucking Mikel Arteta as well.
6.
To get
Tony
to
will
this
give
one.
me the real numbers, but I'm going to say 6.
It's a shitload.
How many
Liverpool
left
might
backs?
have won on
How
a
many
great
left
goal.
backs you got? I need a left back. It's like trying on shoes. Don't like that one. They don't go with these jeans. Throw them away. Try these trainers on. Yeah, I like these ones, but I don't really go with my Farahs. So it's like, how many left backs? It's like
That's what I said. I just see somebody
this one is for like
putting up
the
wallpaper
Chelsea
over
guy
and
that was
over.
here. What was his name? The Chelsea guy, DJ Shannon. This is like as an Arsenal player. You wake up from the transfer window, and then you switch on, and the first thing you hear is Arsenal has blinked with another left back, and you're just like, I'm going to go back to sleep. How many left backs do we need? But now, years later, I look at our defence and I look at the way that our fullbacks play, whether it's Skelly.
Well, we had last year, like 6 of them stand.
It's beautiful. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, look at the way we used to play with a 4 at the back under George Graham. You wouldn't expect Winterburn and Dixon to be making them kind of moves. It was a different game, a different era. And now the fullbacks, they're not just like part of the defence. They're in there in the attack. They're doing stuff. They're doing proper stuff. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Here's a good question for both of you.
I don't care where they play at; they're still wing backs.
I'd like to ask you guys: do you guys feel a couple of players like Timber and Rice are overworked because of the subs that will come in for them and too much of a drop off? I think certainly let's take Yuri and Timber for one. Ben White, there is a drop off, but I don't think it's a big drop off between.
I feel like Ben White should only be a center back the rest of his career because of all his injuries have added up.
Wow, because of injuries, that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't.
And Arteta finally did that. I can't.
But we don't have a recognized right back then, Tony. The
last season or the season before, I kept asking for it, and he finally put him back there as a back 3.
So the question really is: do we feel Timber and Rice are taking on too many minutes?
Well, here's the question.
I always feel Arteta doesn't sub fast enough. That has nothing to do with the depth we have.
Yeah.
I mean, today you've seen what perfect subs look like. You subbed in the 60th minute, and you got a goal scored from those guys.
And to be fair, on Sunday too,
Yeah, but here's the question: when it comes to Ben White, is he 100% fit? We know that he's had periods where he's been playing with injuries. He's not been playing, comfortably fit. What's the deal with him? But I do also think that between Timber and Ben White, they may play the game differently, but it isn't a drop off. It's not like, you got to play this one if he's always fit, because if you play that one, and what I mean by that is it's a little bit like, when like Gabriel was injured and Kivior came in, there was no drop off. We weren't all watching every game with our, biting our nails because Kivior was like, further down the cliff. It was that we didn't even look there. We were just like we were looking. We didn't even look there because it was taken care of. And it's a little bit like a player like Henkape, slightly muscular, although he's younger and is prone to maybe some errors. But did you see where I'm coming from? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. You're saying they have different styles, but they still contribute to the team, and it's not that much of a drop off.
No.
When you play him. What about Declan Rice? I mean, let's say he's left 8, then there are players who can come in for him. Waneri would be one of them.
No. I think maybe he.
Who's the right?
I think maybe Declan Rice is not. Yeah, if Zubamendi fell down tomorrow and broke his ankle, okay, we've got Nordgaard, but Declan Rice can play as a defensive midfielder.
Well, you have a drop off.
What I'm saying is the way that he's utilised now, with everybody fit, the way that he's utilised now, he's utilised as a box-to-box midfielder. He's doing defensive stuff. He's helping out Zubi. He's helping out the defence. But he's also crashing the box and being part of the attack. He's carrying the ball. As you mentioned earlier, he's very good at eating up ground with the ball, getting yardage. If he's an American football player, he's getting the yardage. He's getting the distance.
Yeah.
He's the one player that I'm thinking, well, if he's injured, who is it? Because that's not Winieri. Winieri is more of an Odegaard, maybe. That's more creative, more forward.
But we're talking about if he's injured for 6 weeks.
I think you do. I think you do in that situation? What you do in that situation, I think you would have to move Zubamendi into Rice's position, or Marino. You'd have to probably move Marino into that position. It might not be as good, but I think he's capable. I think he's capable of doing both things. The reason I was talking about Zubamendi, I forgot about Marino. Let's say Marino has to play attack, so that's not available. The other option is you could maybe move Zubamendi into that role, and then you have to bring in Nordgaard for the space that's just been vacated.
What about just playing?
One option is better than the other, but the thing is, there's 2 options there. There's 2 options available. Whereas before, we'd never have had that. We'd be just like,
you would definitely.
What about Skelly? Because that's where he's been practicing.
Well,
there's a third option, and there's a third option. That's how good we are at the moment. Skelly.
Okay, but let's just be clear. You would miss Rice. Well, if he was injured, you would miss him. He's 105. He's 105 million pound player.
Missing. But what I'm saying is that we have options that we can do these things, whereas before that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
we just didn't have those options.
I think we've adequately addressed that question there. Arsenal is still the best team. I hope to win all 4 titles. Quadruple be mad.
I think that must be tongue in cheek, surely. He wants us to win all 4. He wants us to win a quad.
I just read the words that are typed.
You might just read them 20 minutes after they're typed.
I read all of them, even the ones who the snafu me at times. You know what I mean? Cucurella is a sly dog, but good at it.
Yeah.
You know the ones who have the naughty handles.
Yeah, we don't give a sex bot ones anymore for some reason.
If there's anyone listening with children, I'm going to give you a warning. You need to cover their ears now. With Cucurella, he's one of those ones where you're like, he's a cunt. If he plays for your team, you're like, he's a cunt, but he's our cunt. Excuse me, but I'm getting at, and that's what he does. He's very good at that.
Ben White was our guy.
Appreciate it if you've got it.
Ben White was our guy who did that. Nabry and Elise today Benjamin. Nabry and Elise today versus Garnacho and Estimo on Sunday. So seriously, are we facing that big?
Yeah, I think it was. Remember, when I talked about that goal with Martinelli, and I said that they had the ball in our penalty area. Wasn't it Elise that had the ball and lost it, got it taken away from him?
Yes,
I think it was.
Yes.
He went around.
Up that time, Ray.
He actually went around Miles Lewis-Kelly in that situation. Chelsea still don't have a solid defense. It's patchy. Very true.
Yeah.
And a dodgy goalkeeper. He's not top notch. I actually thought they'd go for Ramsdale or something like that. Chelsea would have gone for Ramsdale.
But statistically, Ramsdale is not very good.
Yes, that's the edge. Hasn't Chelsea had pretty light schedules so far? Do they not still have to play some of the top teams still? Probably. I think they played Liverpool. They beat Liverpool. Yeah, they beat Liverpool. But Liverpool's like the Tottenham now. If you need a win, you want to play Liverpool.
Doesn't matter.
Should we move on to
everybody
Liverpool?
twice.
Should we go there now? Good segue.
What's that?
Good segue. We've done Chelsea. Should we move to Liverpool?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. What are your thoughts on Liverpool?
Well, it always makes me when you talk about Mikel Arteta's tenure as a manager, people always go, he's got to win something, he's won nothing. And it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm having to tug someone's sleeve, and I look down and I'm looking up and I'm going, he did win an FA Cup. In his first season as Arsenal manager. And then there's always those caveats. It's always like, it wasn't his full season and he was using someone else's team. It's like, but you still have to motivate him. You still have to work with him. The other guy left. And with Arne Slot, he won the league with someone else's team. They only brought one player in, Chiesa. He didn't come in and do like wholesale changes. He may have tweaked a few things, but it was basically the same complement. And in the next season, now he's in the driving seat. And I actually thought that last season, I said it before, yes, they won the league, clap, but I found it quite underwhelming. And there were so many games last season where they won that I would be like, at the end of the game, I'm like, how the fuck did they win that game?
Bit of magic in there. Yeah.
They were under it. Do you know what I'm getting at? And maybe, maybe the Scousers would go, well, that's a fucking sign of a great fucking team. But they never looked convincing.
All right, Stan.
You know what I mean? They really never looked really convincing. And I was always like, they won that, but how that
You're a make a Ray talk leprechaun.
But then because they were riding on the back of that, they spend all that dough. They spend all that dough. They spend $500 million. And remember, it was all about the Isak. If they get Isak, fuck me, that puts them over. That will put them over. No. Yeah. It shows you a lot. It shows you that you can have a lot of money and you can buy a lot of skill. But there has to be a plan. There has to be something that you're looking towards. And it's not happening at Liverpool.
They went out and...
Look at Verts, man. They spent about 240 million on two players.
Yes.
Around about that. Verts and
Isak, who have not featured very much in the team, have not been significant.
That's hardcore.
They've not been significant contributors to the team.
If they lose their next game, they'll be 14th in the league.
Yeah.
But what do you do? What do you do if you have a manager that comes in and then wins you the league? Do you give them? But what do you do? You've already given.
All right. So
if you get rid of him, right? If you get rid of him, you're like, the next guy comes in and he goes, right.
Here's the situation, Stan.
But hold on a minute, right? If you get rid of him and the next guy comes in, the next guy's like, right, I've got some plans. I want to do this and I want to do that. And the ownership goes, what do you mean you want to do this and do that? You just spent fucking $500 million. There ain't no more money. You're going to have to do this and do that with what you've got, my son. Yeah. Do you know what I'm getting at? So that's what you're dealing with, because there's not an endless pot of money.
All right, here's a scenario, right? Here's a scenario for both of you. Mikel Arteta goes on to win the Premier League with Arsenal this season. We lose the Carabao Cup final, but we win the league. We're happy days, right? Everybody's happy because we won the league for the first time in however many years.
No mention of the Champions League.
No mention. Well,
Mention of the
let's say
Champions
we
League.
get to quarterfinal of Champions League and knocked out. Now, you go into next season, you've won the league. We're happy with that because you would be, right? And then Mikel Arteta loses 9 of 12.
Look, you see what it is, right? I'm in this minority because I know that probably the majority of the fans, with Twitter, the ones that I'm, in and around Twitter, on this channel, and it's only because of my age, right? I think that the majority of them, given the chance, would win the league, the Premier League, and be happy with like a Champions League semi-final or final. What I'm saying is they will take a Premier League over a Champions League, right? But I've seen us win the British, the First Division. I've seen us win the Premier League, and I'm not saying that I take that for granted. But for me, if you said to me you can only have one,
well, you don't get to choose.
I would settle for losing the Premier League by 1 point, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
But winning the Champions League, for me personally, greedy. That's just me. I'm not saying that's what's best for Arsenal. I'm just saying for me, because I've not seen that.
You're not the only one, Stan.
I've not seen that, and for me, it's like when you win that golf competition and you get the green blazer, and you're not allowed to go in for the meal in the evening unless you've got one of them green blazers. Right now, that's happening. There are meals taking place. There are meetings happening that we don't sit at that table. We haven't got that green blazer that allows us entry. And no matter how good we are, no matter how many FA Cups we win, until we have that green blazer, we're never gonna be okay. We really take you seriously now. And if it means that I have to miss out on one league title by 1 point to get that recognition, to get that choice. This is just for me. I want it. I want to sit at that table because
if you have the choice.
I'm looking at that table across the restaurant, and I'm like, how comes they always get their drinks quicker?
I was just laying the scenario.
What's going on over there? I want to be at that table.
I was just laying out the scenario with regards to.
BX kind of says it. That golden star above the badge.
Nice.
I want that. Can we have one?
We want
There's teams that have got three.
You had Jamie Carragher on there talking, right? And he was talking about Liverpool's never sacked a manager that's won the league. Never happened. And they don't sack managers.
Did he win the league, though? Tony?
He won it. I mean, he was in charge.
They had the most points at the end of the season, but did they win the league unchallenged? Is the question.
That's our fucking fault, ain't it? For not strengthening of his squad.
It is. It's not something I was happy about last season, but they won the Premier League unchallenged. So,
can I just say that I like PJ Shantasy's logic. He says if Arsenal doesn't win the EPL this season, they won't win again. They need to focus on the league and have the Champions League as a hobby on the side. And I have to say that is the sensible judgment. In the scheme of things, do you know what I mean? That is the battle plan. But me as an individual, just me. Not what's best, as I said, not what's best for Arsenal. I want that green blazer. I'm sorry.
Premier League.
I want the Champions League. I want the Champions League. I want it. That's just me. I want it so badly, you have no idea.
It's one of those things.
Somebody count how many times
Stan die the next day, and he would still be happy.
I remember watching our last Champions League final against Barcelona. I was living in Amsterdam, and I had a few people around, and I had 2 bottles of champagne in my fridge. And I've never watched that game again. I just won't watch it.
None of us have.
But those bottles of champagne never got opened. I didn't just open them and drink it. I just we're not having champagne because you know what I mean. You're not getting it. I was like, they were bought for the win.
It's
And I
Is it
really,
crazy
still
want,
in
how
I
your
that
really
fridge?
want, I really want that to be
Is it
vindicated.
still in your fridge, Stan?
Not now. I drank them eventually. I'm not an idiot, but on the night.
I
You know,
thought you
on
were
the
going to
night,
keep
you know
it.
what I mean? I was like,
I
no,
thought you were going
Stan,
to keep it till
we'll
it
just
was.
drink the
Stan
beers.
just waited for
Continue
everybody to
drinking
leave.
beers. We're drinking beers in that, but I had 2 bottles of champagne ready to be like the final, right? I was like,
Yeah.
Soon as they left, Stan drink them anyway.
Yeah, listen. What was I going to say? The Premier League is all about consistency and beating inferior teams to stockpile those points. You know, the bottom half of the table, you got to be pretty foot perfect in. The Champions League is a little bit different. It's about your form at the time of the meeting of the teams. Harry Kane went away from this game tonight saying we'll probably meet Arsenal in the latter stages and we'll be ready for them. That's kind of what he was saying.
what else is going to. Well, there's subtitles when he said that because.
No, but the cameraman had to take
what else is he going to say?
take a rag out.
He must have been having flashbacks when he was on the wrong side in North London.
Roy
He didn't get
Huddersfield.
sniffed, man. Listen, Harry Kane is seriously, no matter what we think about Harry Kane, when it just comes to him as what he can do as a footballer, you can't listen. He's not fluked his whole career. The geezer can play football. He didn't get sniffed. As I said to you, he is not a player that needs service. He's a sort of player that can think, fuck this shit, and he can come deep and look for it. And he might score from that or get an assist, but he'll come looking for the ball. He need not get a sniff.
Yeah.
He get a sniff.
He's able to play. He could play in midfield. He's good enough to play in midfield. He's able to spot a pass.
He did get a sniff. I mean,
no.
That you know.
BX said Arsenal are about to humble a whole generation who have never seen us win the big one. Rude awakening incoming. Yeah, I think it's time for the trophies to start flowing now.
I can't wait for my missus to see this because I've been with my missus for like 15 years. And I keep telling her stuff about before. And sometimes, and I'm showing her bits and pieces, but sometimes I'm like, does she believe me? I'm like, we were good. Seriously, we were like really, really, really good. But
you're like in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Stan, you got to watch Fever Pitch. You seen Fever Pitch?
Yeah, I've not watched it with her actually. That's a good point. I might have to watch that with her.
You've not watched it with her?
She's invested, and she's a big Declan Rice fan. She loves Declan.
Well, there you go.
Well, why not? I mean, why not? The way that he's evolved as a midfielder, I mean, I'd like to make a comparison, if I may. And I think that's,
like I did earlier.
I think that, the way that Declan Rice is starting to play, I'll tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Brian Robson. He used to play for Man United. Yeah. That kind of a midfielder.
I just about remember him.
Like good old, as a good old all-rounder. He can put tackles in.
Yeah.
He can move the ball. And, he can also, he can also appear in the box and get on the end of something. Very much reminds me of that
40-yard free kick.
Tiger and Gunnar loves Fever Pitch also. There you go. Listen, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Fever Pitch, I think it's on YouTube as well. You can probably watch the full movie. It's a very nicely crafted storyline around Arsenal's season of 1988-89. It's quite brilliant. I like it. Stan, I agree. The Champions League is one thing I haven't witnessed, but right now I'll take either, as winning one of them would give these players a taste of what it's like to win, which will help us next season. Yeah, listen, all you can do is be in 2 competitions, as far, or maybe even more, and as far as you can take them. And that hopefully we're good enough to keep progressing. Because you know what? It's also important to Sunday's important to beat Chelsea and get a 9-point gap to Chelsea. The more points you can pick up now, between now and let's say February, before the Champions League starts to really kick in the latter stages of knockout of the Champions League, we're going to need as much points in the Premier League as possible to be able to maybe think about the Champions League whilst maintaining the Premier League. be competitive in both. So it's going to be interesting. Most rivals online are 25, 30 or younger. They've never known Arsenal to be a threat. Time to take your medicine, I say. Yeah, I mean, what, 2004? It's a good 21 years, 22 years since we've done it. It's time. And it's been tough in the modern era with Manchester City dominating things. To just talk about Manchester City and the charges. We've not heard anything about the charges yet. You know what's going on with the charges. I still have nightmares about the '06 loss. It would be nice to put that one to rest. We came so close, even being a man down. Yeah, it was soul destroying because you're holding out and you're holding out against a good Barcelona team, and unfortunately,
For 77 minutes with
we
10
went a man
guys.
down after 12 minutes or something like that, Tony.
Big favourites.
Yeah.
Huh?
Big favourites. The football that we were playing that season, big favourites.
Yeah.
And we almost, got something out of it.
Held on. Meanwhile, other teams have gone on to win the Champions League. Arsenal is a team that can win for the next 3 years in all competitions. They need to be humble and continue to play this perfect form of football they're on. That's exactly the thing. You need to maintain what we call the fundamentals of football that we mentioned earlier. Fundamentals.
Yeah,
of
you
football.
want to be that next big win. Sorry, like a league win is a platform for other things. But as I've said before, it's a very good team that wins the Premier League. But I've always said this: it's a great team that can retain it. The retaining, winning it's excellent. It's very good, but retaining, we've never done that. We've never won it 2 years in a row. Man United have. Being able to win it and you go out the next year and you keep hold of it, that's the pinnacle. I think when it comes to league trophies, whatever country it is, as a football team, that is the pinnacle. Winning it's excellent.
Hopefully.
Winning it is very good. Winning it is like excellent, man, wicked. But if you can go again the next season and you retain it, that's like wow.
I love I love the energy from this win. From this win tonight.
Do you take winning the Champions League, or do you take winning the league twice in a row?
Oh, that's yeah.
Tony.
That's a fuck you bastard.
Yeah, that's a good one. Tony. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Because we could we're on 13. We're on 13 leagues.
I'm going to probably say that I would take.
We could be on 15.
Winning the Premier League and retaining it, but in that time as well, getting to a Champions League final.
But not winning it.
Well, that's the choice, right? That's what he gave me. So I'm saying that yes, we win the league and retain it, but we don't win the Champions League. But I see us get to a final, and even though we lost, maybe it was a wanker referee, which should make me feel better. Or just on the day we weren't the better team. It's not a case of we got to a final and we threw it away.
Do you think in the next 3 years? Do you think in the next 3 years we could win the Champions League?
Yeah.
Should be able to.
We were semi-finalists last time, right?
Yes.
Basically, by the route of the law, even though I think we're better this season, last season we were one of the top 4 teams in Europe. If we weren't, we wouldn't have been in the Champions League semi-finals. We were one of the best 4 teams in the whole of Europe. And I would go to say that the way that we are now, not even the way that we're playing, but the fact that we have good backup, like you said, when we played Paris Saint-Germain and we looked at the bench, we were looking at players like Cabia and we're like, why are you even there, mate? You're not getting on. Now we look at the bench and we've got proper options. So if we were one of the top 4 teams in Europe last season, we've got to be in the top 2. We've got to be in the top 3, being generous. We've moved up. We've moved up 1 place. We're on the podium. We've got to be. Got to be.
I'd also, but I don't. You know the way Alec Ferguson came to
Got to
Manchester
be.
United. You know the way Alec Ferguson came to
Where's
Manchester United.
Teabag at now?
His obsession was to target Liverpool's lead of titles, 20 or 19 or whatever it was. Alec Ferguson's obsession was that. I'd like Arteta to target 3 or 4 Premier Leagues in the next 5 or 6 seasons. You know what I mean?
How can you be somebody that's even like less than me, right? You've been supporting Arsenal during the Wenger era. That's what you've grown up with. 20 years, basically, right? Give or take a few months. And seeing that first 10 years of like, wow, this is fucking excellent. And having the last 10 years where there were still cups along the way. We're still involved in European games.
Yeah.
But you're not really getting those big, you know what I mean? And, you know, even me, when it got to the end, even I was like, politely, I would like Mr. Wenger to maybe move on and we try something else. I wasn't like, fuck you, Arsene, you Wenger. I was like, I think we
mercy.
A respectful change, right? Look at where we are now. So if you were there, I mean, come on, surely you must be enjoying this. This is like the way that football is played today. We're playing it better at the moment. We are playing it better. And what I'm trying to say is, like, even if we draw against Chelsea or we might lose, because why are you arrogant enough to think that we're going to win every game? Why? There must be maybe that one team. We win the league, but there may be that one team where we can't get the better of them. We've got to draw one. We get a draw at one, and in the next fixture we might lose by 1 goal.
All right, so let's do this.
I mean, they do a fluky free kick. We lose those games, but we still win the league.
Tony and Stan.
What I'm trying to say is, if that happens, don't turn on the team. Don't give like, why are you so fucking ingratiated and believe and entitled that you have to win every game? You don't have to win every game. So if we do lose to Chelsea, what I'm trying to say is, as long as when we come off that pitch, you can say we didn't slack. Yeah, we tried something, it didn't work, but everyone gave it. But they got that free kick, or that one player of ours made that mistake, and that got in. He was 1-on-1 of the keeper, and Bobby puts it away. What I'm saying is, like, don't lose your fucking mind about it. Don't lose your sleep, because it's over 38 games, and I think maybe over 38 games this season, we might just have enough. I think we might have enough to win more. Lose less than we need to win the fucking thing.
And draw less.
We might win more games than Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. Even though they might beat us, we might win more games than them.
And Tony wants less draws this season as well.
Less draws.
Let me ask you one question. What is the toughest away fixture in the Premier League for Arsenal?
Say again?
What is the toughest ground to go to?
It might have been the Stadium of Light that we just beat.
Sunderland.
Yeah.
You know, Sunderland's a team that's just come up, and you know they're like they've got a big support. But I always thought for me that, and this is like things that I've seen players in the Arsenal team talk about. I talk about other grounds, Liverpool, Anfield. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They really, you know, the crowd there, they make you know that they're there.
Yeah.
For the whole 90 minutes, even before we kick off and all of, you know, they're banging to that very vocal thing. You know what I mean?
You hear them screaming for everything.
And apparently, you know that we do that, you know, our song now, the North London Forever.
Yeah.
Which you can rewind it all the way back when it came in. For me, I don't like it.
I know.
I hate my fucking Angel thing.
I just think it's a bit shit. But the word now being used is people are saying it's so cringe that Arsenal, so cringe. I never liked it from the beginning. Why? Personally, I just thought it was a bit dreary, and it was kind of like no one ever thought, let's write a song for Arsenal. And one guy did it. One guy did it, and instead of Arsenal thinking, okay, there's a market here, let's do a competition and see what else is out there, they took the first thing that they were offered. One guy sent it in, they thought, fuck it, let's not do anything else, let's just fucking use it. And it's dreary. It's dreary. However, like the set pieces. The fact that other teams and other fans find it cringe makes me like it more. If it makes other teams get pissed off about it and like, I like it because I want them to be like that. I don't want them to like us. I don't want them to lick our asses. I want them to be Jamie O'Hara on TalkSport.
Yeah.
He couldn't say nothing about the way that we play. He couldn't say nothing about the players that we've bought. He couldn't say nothing about the tactics. The only thing that he had to go on was the way that we celebrate goals and the cringe about the song.
Yeah.
Nothing about the actual football because they've got nowhere else to go now. That's where they are. They can't attack us for the football that we play. They're looking for fucking everything. And the more that they look for this other bullshit, for me,
it's great.
They're the best team talks Mikel Arteta can have. He can walk into the and go and say, put it up on the wall and go, this is what they're saying now. This is where they are. They're running out of shit to say about us. They're not talking about the way that we play. They're not talking about how we win games. They're basically talking about all this other noise. That's how we are rent-free in their heads. Brilliant.
But
Brilliant.
I remember
Let's just use that. That's where we are. They're talking about how we celebrate. They're talking about how we celebrate. It's like, what? You never win at the last minute.
You can't celebrate like that.
Golf clap. We scored that winning goal in the 93rd minute. Everyone celebrates. But when we do it, it's like, look at Arsenal. They think they've won the World Cup. I love the way that that's what they've got. That's all they're latching onto. That's brilliant. That means that we're doing the right thing. If you're out there thinking, if you're young and you're thinking, I support Arsenal, but it really gets me down the way everybody hates us. I wish we were universally loved. No. The fact that we're not universally loved is what fucking fuels us.
But if you remember the Amazon documentary,
nobody likes we don't care. That's what galvanizes us. Hold on, Tony. The reason you see those players running around in the pitch and the way that they look like a team is because they know that nobody likes them and all they've got is each other. And it's that mentality that helps us win games at the moment and it helps us not give away as many goals as everybody else.
Yep.
Because they only rely on themselves. That's what's going on at Arsenal. Can you not see that? They've got options to get sold and go away. They sign contracts and stay. They want to be around the people that they enjoy going in every morning and seeing their friends coming in as well. This is what's going on at Arsenal. This is not individual City. This is team. We're seriously, it's going to come good. That's where we are.
Serious. We are a serious.
It's serious shit. Seriously, this is serious shit, man. I'm telling you. We're going to win some shit.
I love, as Steven said, I love how everyone hates us. It will be great to watch them all implode when we win. If we ever do, pick up that big year's Champions League trophy, serious. It'll be seriously good. I never liked that song, and it hasn't grown on me. I also find it dreary. It doesn't get me pumped up in the game.
However, the fact that it pisses people off is kind of like this, morbid twist on it. I'm like, if it upsets you, I don't want you to like it. I don't care that I don't like it. I don't want you to like it. You don't like it, good. You know what I mean? So the more that they criticize, the more that shows they're fucking shit in their pants.
It's and the players seem to be okay with it, and it helps them get motivated. I think as well.
I just remember because it shows in the Amazon documentary, a dude comes in there and say, "Oh, I heard this song 4 weeks ago." Then we fucking hear everything.
However, every half time at home when we come out on the pitch, they always play a WWE wrestlers theme music in the background, and there's probably a lot of fans. There's probably a lot of fans that go, "Oh, I hate it when they do that. Why do they do that?" Whereas I like to listen out for it and go, "Oh, I wonder who it's going to be this week," just because I like wrestling. Horses for courses. That's what I'm saying. But overall, right now, we should all be up behind this team. We should all 100%. Make this team. We should. If anybody's still, Arteta, I never wanted him as a manager. Tough. He is your manager. You need to fucking bite your lip and go, okay.
Look at this.
This might not be the president that I wanted, but he's doing this stuff. He's ending.
Look at this, man. We've come along.
Seriously, we've got to get behind it.
We come a long way from when Brentford beat us 2-0 in the opening game of the season.
Do you remember I did my scales? There were times when I was like 70 to 80%. I want him gone. There's like 20%. That's how this. You know what I mean? I've not always been like, oh, Mikel Arteta. I was like, do you know what I mean? I didn't even want us to change from Emery, not because I thought Emery was like God manager. I just looked at Man United and thought to myself, I don't want that revolving door. We go through this kind of manager, we go through that kind of manager, blah blah. If we're going to pick someone, we've got to try and stick with it. But we didn't. We didn't. We got rid of him, and I was like, here we go, the merry-go-round. And then it was like, Mikel Arteta. I was like, okay, I kind of liked him as a player and all that, but really? I wasn't like, and there were times when I was just like 80 out, 20 in. Now, I'm sorry, man. We have to be behind this guy. We have to.
Yeah.
He has done, I can see the bigger picture. What he's done of our defence, the way that this team cares about each other, that's all down to Mikel Arteta getting in pit pockets and light bulbs and this and all that weird shit that we're like, what the fuck is that? And everyone's laughing. No different to when, this is the next stage. When Wenger came into Arsenal and it was no more about, you can't eat sausage and fucking beans every day. You've got to take supplements. You've got to do stretches. And all the Arsenal, and they were like, well, who is this guy? And then you talk to all of them. Like, we 3 more seasons out of him. We thought we had 1 season left. We played for another 3 seasons because of these changes.
Yeah. As Tony said, no more beer. They had to get off the beer.
How many times did Wilshire get in trouble for smoking in public? There's like 3 fucking times.
And one of our goalkeepers, Chesney.
Got caught smoking in the showers, which I've always felt to me is kind of like
weird.
You must have a big hat on with a big rim because you're in a shower smoking a cigarette.
An umbrella.
Or you've got a big nose. I mean, that's not the place to smoke a cigarette.
Under this
that's probably why Wenger was like, not only are you smoking, you're doing it in the shower. You're out of it.
It's one of those giant penguins umbrellas.
DJ Shat said,
you know what I mean? It's like this week he's smoking a cigarette in the showers. Next week he's taking a dump. Where does it end?
He said Arteta was the best. Arteta was the best choice, just like Chelsea employing Thiago Silva as the defensive coach. The end of the season, 26-27 is going to be heavy. No, I think there was other managers looked at as well at the time, but
But what are all these podcasts doing that is basically, for me, seems to be, have built a career on just like saying that the decisions that are made by the manager and all of that are no good. This is the best we've ever fucking had it. This is the best we've ever fucking had it. I mean, look at where we are. If we've been really fighting to get this league and we've put ourselves in such a good position. And we've got that one thing. It doesn't matter about the individual jigsaw pieces. It's about how it builds that bigger picture. We've got such a team. They know where each other's going to be. They love each other. They play for each other. I just think that we've got all of the ingredients. And as I keep saying, my mind is blown that we're doing what we're doing right now, and we have how many key players not available? That's ridiculous. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. How is it that we've got those amount of players not even in the team and we're top of the league in England and top of the league in Europe? How is that? How is that?
It's crazy.
Just, for me, that's just like, I ain't seen that shit before.
Do you think, question for you, Stan, do you think DJ Schatz knows about Sean Dyche? We know about Sean Dyche.
Opal fruits?
And it wasn't the opal fruits. It was the opal fruits. Sean Dyche was a choice. Do you think he would have been better? Sean Dyche takes over Arsenal. No, I don't think we'd be where we are now under Sean Dyche.
Stan would like it.
No. You honestly think that he would be encouraging Timber and Calafiori, the fullbacks to be playing in the manner that they do. Maybe he would if maybe if you've got the talent, you change. Who knows? But from what you've seen, as I say, all of our back four are central defenders. What I mean by that is obviously the centre backs, but none of our fullbacks are legitimate fullbacks in the squad. None of them. Ben White was a centre back. He can play at right back, but predominantly he was a centre back. The same with Timber, the same with Calafiori.
Yeah.
But we play a back four with all centre backs, and yet the ones playing in the full back positions score goals, create assists, get into dangerous positions, are part of the attack. There's times when you could be watching an Arsenal game, pausing it, and then saying to an alien that's just dropped down and showing him the thing and saying, which one of those is our striker? And he would be pointing at Calafiori. Calafiori is a left back. And you can stop it at certain times and you'd be like, yeah, well, I've never seen this before. Never watched it before. But yeah, that's the centre forward. That's where we are.
Yeah.
That's madness. As an opposition, how do you fucking cope with that shit? As a team playing a team that does that kind of bullshit, how do you cope with it?
Lots of shoulder tackles and
especially a player.
It's madness. How do you got Timber and Calafiori turn up as centre forwards? If you just like what?
They even highlighted one of the things that highlighted was a long ball from David Raya, and Timber was there challenging for the ball.
It's madness.
Like, how does Timber get up there? He's your right back.
Because his marker's not going to follow him.
No.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's great.
Postecoglou is a choice. Now I know you're joking around.
For who?
I thought you were joking about Sean Dyche, but now at Big End.
He was a choice for who?
For Arsenal.
That's who we are, mate. No, he was at Celtic, wasn't he?
That's who we are, mate. That's who we are.
The Sean Dyche comes back.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. I think what Stan has been at pains to say tonight is something that I would say also. Enjoy Arsenal now.
So do you what? Would you prefer the way we played today or the way we play in the league with the slow progression forward, or do you like all the long balls like we had today?
I just think, Tony, that you have to trust the tactics that Mikel Arteta is employing. You know, it would be a different kind of game if we go long ball from David Raya onto the Chelsea central defenders. It would be a different kind of game. It would be an English game on Sunday, and it won't be a game against Bayern Munich in a continental style Champions League game. I think it's different horses for courses, different kettle of fish, all that stuff. And I think that I trust whatever way Mikel Arteta wants to set up to play against Chelsea. You know, as Stan said, we've been on a sliding scale with Arteta.
As long as Mourinho isn't left back.
5 and 6 years ago, as long as Mourinho's not left back. 5 and 6 years ago, we were on a sliding scale with Mikel Arteta. It was 80-20, 80 in favor of him going at times. When we were in that Europa League final, and he employed Emile Smith-Rowe as your false nine because of injuries, right? You know? Who knows? The aliens might have already had a 500-year version of football and got bored. Yeah.
Do you want a little bit of a bit of bonus? A little bit of a bonus here.
Yeah, we're gonna wind it up soon, but we have time for a little bit of a bonus.
So the missus had just come home, and as you know, it was my birthday on Saturday, and I got my birthday present. Let's have a look. It's like, I think they call it an unboxing.
Yeah, sure. It does actually. They do call it that.
So this is what I've got.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not sure.
Now-
So I'm gonna put it on. Let's see if it fits.
You're really good. Some people are really good at knowing the years. They see the shirt and then know the year and they know the season, right? I want to feel like it's around Theo Walcott's.
It's
Oh,
new,
no.
right? It was a Fasten brand, I think it was.
You think it's new?
Yeah, it's new.
Arteta's done the best job ever. All the players have a level head and make close to zero. Look at that. It fits.
This is a small. Now this is a small. For some reason, this particular design is quite big. Usually,
Yeah.
I'm a medium. Usually, I'm a medium.
Yeah. Okay. What
It's-
year is that?
It's new.
You think it's new? I'm
Oh yeah,
not
this
up-
isn't. This isn't from a. This isn't one I've seen before. This is like a. This is a new design, I think.
like a casual.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like a play on the. It's kind of like a play on the bruised banana, isn't it? It's like an updated
A
version.
little bit.
It's a Fasten branded.
There you
I
go.
can't
Someone says
remember.
it's a training kit.
No, it's a
Right.
Fasten brand.
Yeah,
I'm
usually
pretty sure.
I wear a medium, and this is a small.
We will trust the chat box, Tony.
I will not trust.
Yeah,
your
it's not.
chat
It's not.
box.
It's not a classic. It's a new. It's a new design.
I just like seeing the old.
But what do we
Very
think
cool
anyway? What do we
Adidas
think?
logo.
Do you think it's all right? You know what I mean?
I liked it. I was thinking about
Yeah, I like
ordering
it.
when it first came out.
The sort of thing that I would wear on holiday, somewhere hot with a pair of like cargo shorts,
Yeah.
trainers. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to
And a
be
blunt.
I'm not going to be walking through town in it. Maybe down a pub. When everyone else is wearing tops down the
It
pub.
kind of looks like a suit of armor a little bit, like a superhero suit of armor, doesn't it? Ant-Man. Stan-Man.
See,
It kind of has
here-
like
here-
it kind of has like
here-
a bruised,
here's
it kind
the
of has like a
training
bruised,
kit.
a bruised
That's
banana
not-
feel
that's
about it.
different.
That makes sense. Like
It-
an updated version of the
Does.
bruised banana. But
Yeah, it really does.
It's like a mix of that and the blue one.
Do we
Kinda.
qualify for the next round in the Champions League with one more win? Usually, if you get to 18 points, yeah, one more win, you get to 18 points. We talked about this last season. You get to 18 points, you're pretty certain of qualifying and being there. Happy birthday, Stan, from BX Gunner.
cheers.
Unboxing a Chelsea win on Sunday. That's the-
DJ Shatnessy says, "Good week for your birthday." Though I'm like, I was thinking, like, fucking right, it was. What a good week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm getting BX says he's getting that kit soon. 2025-26 training, away training kit. It's a training kit, not a classic kit.
It's not
Nice.
a training kit.
The missus did a nice job there, Stan.
Yeah, as I say, it's sort of thing you'd wear on holiday, right? Pair of cargo, somewhere hot, cargo pants, trainers. Do you know what I mean? Maybe on a podcast or whatever. Maybe down a pub on a summer's day. Everyone's wearing their Arsenal tops. That sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? That sort of environment.
Looks like someone had a paint spillage. Good week for your birthday, though. Okay. Good, nice one, Stan. So listen, unless you have any more Arsenal news, I just want.
Oh no, there was one other thing. Did you see that stuff about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes, that's where I was going.
Oh man,
That's
Go on.
exactly where I was going. Do you know why, Stan? Because I'm Irish, and Republic of Ireland have a small chance of qualifying.
Ray, it's
What?
for 2025-26 Lifestyler shirt.
Nice. It's
It
a
is not a
lifestyle
training kit.
Yeah.
Not
So-
a training kit.
Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off against Ireland in Dublin. He had a 3-match ban. Judged to have a 3-match ban. First one was when Portugal would play their final game against, I think, Armenia, right? And so then the other two matches would have been served in the States here and during an FA Cup or World Cup 2026. Well, what happened today or yesterday, Stan?
They put him on probation, basically.
a 1 year probation, which would cover the span of the World Cup.
I mean, if you're fucking Joe Bloggs playing for anyone else, you're serving that out, man. You're serving that time out.
Yes.
I mean, isn't there like a rule where it's like if you're in some competitions and you get through the qualifying stages, they get wiped, and then when you go to like the finals, but they don't do that here. They've just changed it very conveniently, and they're like saying, well, you know, he's paid like 220, whatever it is, international, and he's never done it before. That's like me going down the road, shooting someone with a shotgun, and then going, listen, I've never done it before. It's my first time. Never going to do it again. So just, you know, but you know what I'm saying, though? It's like, it's criminal conduct. It's not like he went in with the studs. He you know.
Elbow.
And you have to say, right, it's not like it was a closed, you know, behind closed doors kind of a match. It's out there. And I hate to say it, and I know it's cliche, but, you know, football goes right down to little kids who are running around in their baggy shorts that don't fit them properly, kicking a ball around on a huge pitch that's too big for them. But they're into it. And some of them that are doing it really want to be like a professional footballer. So they watch all this shit. So if you don't do anything about it, do you know, it's like you got to set, I don't want to say like, oh, the children, but this is a game. This is a game that, you know, usually when you get into it, you start as a kid and you work your way up. You know, you don't just come in as an adult. You come in as a fucking kid. You're looking above you. So what sort of example does it fucking set?
The other thing, Stan, is the kids want to play football. And when they score a goal, many of them will do the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration. You know, take a run, you jump, and you go.
It doesn't mean that you should, you know, getting at. I mean, it's commendable that he's never been booked for 220 games or whatever, but he did then. He has to pay the price. That's the rules.
This is all about having a big star at the World Cup, and the draw, right? The draw of the television advertisers, the draw of the public, and you're right. Joe Bloggs will get banned.
Tens of thousands of Ronaldo shirts.
You know,
those Portugal shirts that people usually don't buy, they'll be buying.
Thanks to high heaven. So what you had 3 years ago was a World Cup that was in Dubai and had.
We did.
But where does it go from there, right? Do you remember that World Cup where Glenn Hoddle was the manager, and he decided that he wasn't taking Gaza? Gaza smashed up his office and all of that. And Gaza didn't go to that World Cup. Basically, it's the equivalent of the manager, like Glenn Hoddle, saying, you know what, I'm not taking my star player for whatever reasons, this, that, and the other. I'm not taking Gaza. And then the FA coming in and saying, overruling them, going, no, you are picking him.
Mm.
But it's like, where does it end? Whether you agree with it or not, he's the manager, right? You know, I'm getting it. Even if you disagree with it, the FA should not be coming in and overruling the manager and saying, no, you are. That's where we're going with this. Do you know what I mean?
Remember Alan Shearer coming down on top of somebody's head? And he was the England captain at the time. And he got away with something there as well. But yeah, I mean, I completely take your point. We did not talk about this. I did not contact you or message you about this, but I wanted to talk about this as well right at the end of this show. And it's funny that you mentioned it exactly as the topic you wanted to talk about. Yeah, it really does flout the, let's say, somebody like Seamus Coleman, right? 37 years old, plays for Everton, I think he's the Irish captain. And if he gets sent off in the last game of the playoff or the final of the playoff, and Ireland qualifies for the World Cup, you're damn sure he's seeing out. He's going to see out that ban.
It's no different to the English game where, you know, Gaza was going through the tournament, having the tournament of his life. And then he committed that foul and picked up that yellow card. And then it was like, well, you know, if England get to the next stage, he can't play. If they get to he can't play. That's like that happening. And then they're going, don't worry. If England do get, don't worry, everyone who's watching. If England do get to the next stage, we're going to let him play. Because we all like Paul. I know you like Paul. We like Paul. The fucking advertisers love Paul. So don't. It's like, what does it end? You can't just you can't keep whether you agree with the rules or not. You can't keep tweaking it as you go along. That's what they've done.
No. And that's the one I think where Gaza was
what I mean?
playing. So don't worry, Gaza. Wipe your tears away because we'll wipe.
It doesn't matter. Because it's you, you'll play the next one. So don't worry about it. Because there'll be more eyes on it. That's not what it's about.
No.
And as much as you might love Cristiano Ronaldo or hate Cristiano Ronaldo, he committed a foul that was for 3 games. That's what it is.
Yes.
And he didn't get that. So anybody else that finds themselves in the same situation, which is a football match being governed by the same body, because obviously different bodies in different areas, but if you find yourself in a football match being governed by someone from the same governing body, i.e. a World Cup, FIFA,
yeah,
and you get that and you don't get the same treatment, why the fuck not?
Yeah, totally agree with you.
That's where you get a grey area now, right? That's where they fucked. It's called integrity. It's integrity. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether it's George Best, Pele, Maradona, or Cristiano Ronaldo. There's rules in place for a reason.
Yeah,
it's almost like saying, Maradona is stepping up for the penalty, and the goalie saves it, but we're going to give Maradona a second chance because we like Maradona, and he needs to score. You don't get that.
He didn't mean what he did. Let him try again.
You know, that's not what it's about.
Have you ever watched any of the docudrama movies of his life?
Ronaldo's.
Maybe it was Trump. Maybe he found out that, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo's not going to be playing the first 2 games in America. He's a great
in the
guy.
White House.
Great guy.
Ronaldo was in the White House. That's true. Last week.
So, I mean, fuck. It's.
Does Trump still have Madueke's winners medal?
Loses in a bit of more integrity of the game, right? When they can tweak it for this one individual.
As Steven said,
do you know what? If I was fucking, do you know what? And here's the thing, and even if, you know, I was the player, let's say I was in that place, and it's easy for me to say it because I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo with his lifestyle, but you'd like to think that if you was in that position and that was you, and they said, no, don't worry, you can play, I would actually like to see the player turn around and go, no, you know, that's not, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little bit like, do you remember that time that Robbie Fowler got that penalty against Arsenal?
Yes.
And even Robbie Fowler was saying to the referee that he didn't think that Seaman committed. Do you know what I mean? That little bit of honesty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of integrity, right? It's a bit of integrity.
You don't see it too much these days, that integrity, you know? But yeah, I wanted
all about money, right?
Wanted to cover that. I wanted to cover that Cristiano Ronaldo thing as well.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. A 3-game ban, 2 of them have rescinded because so he can go to America.
Fuck is probation? This is football, not fucking penitentiary system.
He's probably going to retire.
What, are they fucking bail bonds being paid and shit? Is there like a bounty on that? What the fuck?
He's probably going to retire
after you get this booking, it means X. All of a sudden, he's on a secret probation. What was that? What was that movie? You're on probation, and he was on secret probation. I mean, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Fucking John Thompson, who plays for fucking Forest Green, could get the same. He ain't getting that shit.
So there'll be like prison break. He has to escape for prison.
It's rules like that make you the other players think to yourself, you know what? I can't go fucking elbowing players in the face because there'll be penalties. There'll be consequences. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. What's next? What's next? Fucking Cristiano Ronaldo does a fucking suplex off of the top tier. I mean, what is next? It's like I mean, what else does he get away with? Getting somebody into a fucking figure four leg lock.
It could set a precedent.
You can have that on Saturday.
Any other player.
Ridiculous. Oh my God, Cristiano Ronaldo has Donnarumma in a rear naked fucking check. Rear naked neck hold. And you're like, what? But don't worry. It's like, there's rules, man. You can't do this. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
So
and
we will.
If Cristiano Ronaldo had anything about him, because of his stature in the game, he would have said, no, the rules apply to me as well.
Yeah.
The rules apply to me as well. Yeah, it's not about money. It's not like he gets like 100 million. I'm getting that. He's got enough dough, right? He could set an example. It's bullshit. It is bullshit.
You know what annoys me about that, Stan, as well? He was sent off and he had a sense of arrogance when he was walking off the field as well. Ronaldo did. He had that sense of arrogance.
So does somebody go to put it on him?
And it's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with saying, "Are Portugal a better team with him or without him?" That's the manager's choice. What I'm saying is, he caused an infraction that got this result. You got to fucking play it out. You know what I mean? What is he fucking plea bargaining with the FA? It's ridiculous. This isn't court. This is football, and there's rules. If you don't like the rules, change them. But it's ridiculous. It's not good. Not good. The key word is integrity. It's losing. You lose integrity with the game when you do this shit. Do you know what I mean?
You got a sentence commuted to a different and more lenient one. There is playoffs coming up in March. Another interlull coming up in March. Ireland is involved in a semi-final away to Czech Republic. And maybe potentially a final in Dublin.
I hate this fucking new World Cup format. Hate it.
Well, Tony, Ireland, they're still in it. England, they've punched their ticket. They're going.
Well, when there's 48 goddamn teams in it,
that's really small. Right? Not Cape Verde, another one. A really small country qualified. Yes. What was it?
Yes.
Like a small country. I keep thinking of Cape Verde, but it wasn't. It was someone else. And it's like, well, okay,
In the
It's the World Cup. Well, world does mean like every country should have a team that enters.
Yeah.
If you're a country, you should have a team in the World Cup. Maybe there's playoffs or whatever, but it is a World Cup. Do you know what I mean?
You should be. The World Cup should represent
every country.
That's the world, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
But they do that. They play.
Some people said that they should open up more berths for European teams or whatever.
But you have these confederations. You already have them qualifying. You already.
Well, they opened it up from 32 teams to 48, so there is.
And I do not like it.
Yeah, it creates an international break in March, which is not going to be good. Draw will be next week sometime, the 5th of December.
I'm old school though. I also think that international teams, the manager should be from that country.
I agree.
International means is that all the players from one country and their best manager from that country goes into a world competition of that sport against the best of that country. And I don't understand it when you have fucking
German-led
England manager and you're like, it's not fucking English.
A German-led English team.
I just think that I'm just thinking that's just be the letter of the law. It's an international thing. That means that country is going against that country. That's what it means. That's why we have it. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. I don't understand an international tournament, but the manager is not from that country. That just makes no fucking sense to me at all. And even if you say, well, some countries have more of a pool to choose from. That's not. Good luck to them. Cape Verde qualified for the fucking World Cup, and they've got a population of 5. I'm joking, but you know what I'm getting at. It's like international should be international. The players are from that place, and the coaches. You're trying to see who's the best of the best.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I've never got that. Never got that.
What was the last World Cup that you really enjoyed? France,
Brazil.
98.
I quite liked it when Roberto Baggio missed the penalty.
94.
Because I was in Ibiza at the time. That was
that
the USA
94?
World Cup. I was in Ibiza at the time.
Okay.
So there was like, sunshine, cold beer, and I got friendly with these people that had a bar where they had a huge screen right by the beach where could watch the games and that. That was a good one.
Okay.
And I didn't want Italy to win because basically there was in this pub and it was like it was one of those areas where even though it was in Ibiza, it was a lot of English people. I got to know these people that had this bar, and then on the day of that final, it was like this bar with a big screen, and down the front there was a lot of kids that were like sat cross-legged towards the front of the big screen, and it was quite busy. And then just before kickoff, a load of Italian guys came in, really loud, really over boisterous, with a huge flag as well. And they kind of like even stood right in front of these kids that were sat on the floor cross-legged, watching the game. And I was getting quietly angrier and angrier. My missus at the time kept nudging me and saying like, leave it. It was hot. I was drinking a lot. I was getting wound up and these fuckers, So when it panned out the way that it did, and Baggio missed that fucking penalty like he was playing American football, they left the pub quite quickly. They just left. But I looked around and they left so quickly. They left this flag. They left a flag that they brought in with them. And as they went out, I picked up the flag and I looked out the door and I went, "Oi!" And they turned around and they looked at me and they went, "No trouble, no trouble." I went, "You forgot this." I just threw them their flag. So yeah, I remember that World Cup very well. And I was really pleased that the team that lost really lost. Yeah.
Nice. All right. We'll cap it there, right? I mean, we'll leave it there.
Nobody for Zidane having a little bit of Holyfield.
Is there a fight?
No, but a little bite on the ear that he did.
Oh, Zidane?
Yeah.
And Holyfield, what's the connection?
No, I said Holyfield as a joke since Mike Tyson took a bite out of Holyfield.
Okay. What's the correlation?
The ear biting.
Who bit whose ear?
Zidane bit the ear and
he didn't bite no one. He headbutted the guy. Remember? You're talking about that.
Is this a World Cup game or what? I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember the headbutt. I remember Zidane biting an ear. Did he bite an ear?
No, it was a headbutt.
All right. I don't know how he got to that.
Yeah, he didn't bite anyone's ear. It was a headbutt.
All right. Okay. Zidane. That's Zidane, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the best headbutt in the World Cup ever. Right? That was the best. All right. Nice kit there, Stan. Thanks for being here tonight. And Tony, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you.
Stan almost needs the adult size in it since it's made to be baggy and loose.
Was a good chat. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan, right?
You're baggy and loose.
Huh?
I said, Tony, you're baggy and loose.
Tony is. I think we should end it pretty soon here. I don't know where. I don't know what kind of ground we're heading into.
No, but seriously, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for coming into the show. Yeah. Seriously, it's a wonderful time to be a Gooner. Seriously, this is so good. Obviously, we're not at the home straight yet. Things may change, but I mean, fuck, man. I mean, Bayern Munich, we're no idiots coming into that game. We schooled them. Keep the faith, keep supporting the team because this could be it. This really could be it.
And what I was saying earlier, like, what's the most difficult ground? Okay, Anfield is the most difficult ground, probably. The Etihad's the most difficult ground to play in. Maybe the Stadium of Light is a difficult ground.
Newcastle.
We've won at Old Trafford. We've played a few games now. We played. We beat Newcastle up there. We drew with
Exactly.
Sunderland.
We've been to those harder places.
Yeah,
We've done that.
and Sunday will be a difficult away game in London, but we've had those experiences where we've won at up in Tyneside. We won at Newcastle, drew at the Stadium Light. We beat Manchester United.
This is a
opening day of the
big,
season.
big test.
So big test, but
Big test.
whatever happens, as Stan has said, and stick with the team. We're doing bits this season, and I think enjoy it each and every week as we go on, and it can only get because I feel like we're gonna win it at the end of the season. I
guarantee you now, right? If we beat Chelsea, if you go to a betting site, the odds will fucking shrink.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, you go 9 points clear of Chelsea, and okay, City will probably win,
and the holders could end up in 14th place.
Yeah,
I mean, it's wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, the holders end up in 14th place.
They could be 14th next week. If it doesn't go their way, Liverpool could be in 14th place next week.
I bet you would never have thought me saying they have to go to West Ham and win the game.
I'm loving it.
We have to go to West
Ham. I'm really loving this thing by Liverpool.
They
loving
have
it.
no. I mean,
I'm loving it. They're spending money in one window, and it just shows you it's not what you spend, it's how you spend it, how you fucking nurture it, how you use it. It's not happening.
But
why did they let Diaz go? Idiots. But it's just
why did they let Diaz go? Why is Endo sitting on their bench when you have a defensive midfielder who could actually defend for them and stop the bleeding? Why would
You're
you?
saying to me, right, that we should be fucking ashamed because Mikel Arteta won the FA Cup with half the work done by Emery? Then fucking Liverpool should be ashamed that Slot won the whole league with fucking. It was basically Klopp's team.
Klopp's team.
Yeah. We got Chiesa. And then when he got given, and then after that, when they said, you know what, we like you, here's $500 million, go out and fucking make it stronger. What's happened? Is it stronger? Is it? It's not. It is not stronger. They could be in 14th place next weekend.
There's only one,
and they spent $500 million.
I would, if I could have it on another team, that happening, it would be Man City.
It's not that Isak and fucking Wirtz are even shit. More Isak than Wirtz, because Wirtz came from a different league, a German league, where it's different. But we know that Isak's not shit. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the fucking manager is not able to fucking deal with this shit. He's out of his depth. He's out of his depth.
Exactly.
Kirkus.
All right. We'll see you Sunday, okay? Hopefully. Everything going well. Happy Thanksgiving once again to those who are going to partake.
Yeah, enjoy your turkey. Gobble, gobble.
Enjoy the turkey. Gobble, gobble. And, let
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Let Arsenal eat on Sunday. 3, 2, 1. We're out of here.
Do the business, drop a like, do the subscribe, do the hype, do this. Try and help the channel, but thanks for